I guess it's kind of fitting to play the old foghorn sound effect. You know, as kids, you know, because of our age, you know, watching the cartoons back in the day, I mean, the old foghorn sound effect, I think we all know what it is, but do the young folks today know what this... I think I remember that from Scooby-Doo or something. Remember? Root, doot, 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 doot. Hey, Scooby! You know, they're driving in the Mystery Machine and they, drive down this dirt road. They see a haunted mansion, and then there's, some headless specter, with a candelabra walking down, and the bookcase that spins around with the candelabra pull on the wall. And, we all know what the sound effect is all about, right? But do, the kids today know what that is? And really, when the hell was that ever used? I mean...
It's a boat thing, right? I thought it was a boat and fog thing.
Oh, yeah, it is. So I think the foghorn is supposed to let you know...
You're about to get hit by a boat.
Or where land is, or where jetties are. Anyway, the reason why we're talking about this is the fog is pretty nasty out there. I guess, a quarter-mile visibility on the Howard Franklin going across. I mean, you could clearly see all the taillights in front of you. I don't know if it... listen, I'm here... 30 minutes ahead of you guys, but I didn't have any major issue, but it's, kind of thick out there. But again, I didn't feel any danger. I could see the taillights, far enough ahead. It's not like, remember that pile up on I-4 maybe 10, 12 years ago? Remember that? Remember there were some fatalities? Remember, out that stretch out near, is it Auburndale or whatever? Just that nasty stretch where it just has historically gotten really foggy and cars could not see each other and started piling up and smashing into each other. Remember that?
What happens is in Polk County, there's some lower areas where the fog just sits.
Yep.
And it takes a long time to burn off as well. So just use a little extra caution this morning.
Yeah, so don't drive like a maniac. Slow it down a bit. But, I saw some pretty heavy fog coming in against South Tampa over the Howard Franklin. Worst fog was like mid-bay. The middle of the bridge is where I think I saw the thickest, heaviest fog. So just be careful. Don't drive like a maniac. Don't, weave and swerve all over the place. Yes, Rox?
It was pretty consistent fog the entire drive from West Chase here, and then it lifted a little bit when I got off the exit.
Yeah, see, I thought the fog was still pretty heavy on 9th on MLK on the way down past Roosevelt. I thought it was still pretty thick. For me, it might have even been actually a little heavier. So anyway, bottom line is drive carefully, drive safely this morning. You know the drill. Well, maybe some people don't know the drill, actually.
Froggy.
I know the drill.
Do you care to comment on the Foggy, Froggy?
No.
Froggy.
Horrible.
What?
That was horrible.
Foggy.
Were you scared?
I was very scared.
Were you petrified?
I actually speed in the fog. I take advantage of it.
You just cover your eyes. It's just terrifying. You're like, I can't even look at this. I'm going to put a blindfold on right now.
What's the matter with you? I'm doing a little public service announcement here about driving safely this morning, and you're talking about speeding in the fog?
Balls to the wall, baby.
What kind of putz are you? Come on.
Not cool, mister.
I got here in 8 minutes.
Yeah, we stop it. Anyway, Buccaneers, we said yesterday, we were live yesterday. I think maybe the only morning show in the market live yesterday.
Oh, yeah. What happened? Who won?
Okay. Really?
Did you watch the game at all, Roxanne?
I went to bed before it was over, but I did see who won this morning.
Yeah. So Buccaneers 32-9 over the Philadelphia Eagles. And as we discussed yesterday, because, we're known for in-depth sports coverage and analysis here on the MJ Morning Show. Well, as we discussed yesterday, it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure this out. The Philadelphia Eagles have really sucked in the latter part of the season. Would they drop like 5 of the last 6? Right?
Yeah, they lost a bunch of games toward the end of the season.
Now they've lost 6 of the last 7, I think. So the Philadelphia Eagles, they started out fairly strong and then just collapsed. So our analysis was yesterday that, hey, the Buccaneers really could win this. And of course Baker Mayfield was there, had a pretty good game. I saw some comparison stats-wise that Baker Mayfield next to Tom Brady in Tom Brady's last season with the Bucs, that Baker Mayfield is almost like right there hanging with Brady.
Listen, he's the right quarterback for right now. So good job last night, guys.
All right, so what's the deal? Who do the Bucs play next?
Lions.
So it'll be Is that it? Is it?
Yeah, so they play the Detroit Lions
So
next Sunday.
Next Sunday at 3 p.m., Andrew is saying?
Yeah, there's 2 games next Sunday, and it's the earlier game, the 3 p.m. game.
3 p.m., Bucks, Lions.
Then what?
That's going to be a rough game.
Then they go to your mom's house.
Yeah, then they go to Mom Spaghetti's house.
Eminem's gonna.
Yeah.
No, I
Spaghetti.
was talking about Froggy's mom's house.
Is this a your mom joke?
That
Yeah.
hurts, dude.
Yeah.
Don't say that way. Don't
What
talk
do
that
you
way
got?
about Patricia.
What, these nuts jokes coming soon or what?
Is this what we're going today? We're doing low-hanging fruit day?
Hey, can we do a Gene Deckerhoff off?
Yeah, I can do a Gene Deckerhoff all day.
Let's do it. You and I ought to do a Gene Deckerhoff off.
Touchdown, Buccaneers!
Look at that.
20, the 10, the 5, the Buccaneers score.
Now, wait a second. Baker Mayfield just got nailed in the nuts.
Oh my God, the peener.
Holy crap.
His junk just fell. Oh, it's a flag. I thought it was his junk.
Oh, my God. I don't think he's having any kids anytime soon.
Buccaneers
He's
score.
got a ruptured testicle.
Wiener on the field.
Oh, my God. A detached wiener.
Gene,
Yes.
your daughter, Janine Deckerhoff, just walked in.
Oh, touchdown, Buccaneers!
It's the Deckerhoff family.
It's the Deckerhoff off.
This is how we act around the Thanksgiving dinner table. We talk like this. Can you pass the turkey?
Oh, my
Can
God.
you Can you raise the flags?
Baker Mayfield just got a wedgie. His crack's been increased by 17 inches.
I love him.
Oh, my.
I got to tell you guys something funny. We were watching the game, and my daughter's like, "What are those butt danglers?" She calls the towels
The towels?
that they have hanging out of
They're
their.
butt danglers.
And Baker Mayfield just got grabbed by the butt dangler. And tell you what, look at that. He's got some Klingons. What is the other?
Some hangers.
What is the other? I can't think of
Like
it.
some stalactites hanging out of his ass.
All right, stop.
Yeah, Gene, you're absolutely right. He has stalactites hanging out of his ass. You're right, Gene.
Wait a minute. What's the oh, look at them dingleberries. I'm Gene Deckerhoff. We got dingleberries on the wazoo.
Yeah, Gene,
literally.
In this humidity, the dingleberries are just awful, Gene.
All right, 6:07. We ought to do another Gene Deckerhoff
It's
off.
exhausting.
That's
Yeah.
the only way we should be talking about Buccaneer football. Congratulations,
Throw,
guys,
though.
but we're not the sports show.
All right, 6:08 at the MJ Morning Show, just getting rolling. It's a busy Tuesday morning. All right, traffic time. I guess what, Pat is still on vacation, or did he smash it up in the fog this morning?
He's all smashed up.
All right, there we go.
You'll see heavy fog if you're out on the roads this morning. Be careful traveling across the bridges. Traffic is starting to build in Tampa, southbound 275, approaching I-4. No accidents this morning along I-4 or the Selman Expressway getting into downtown Tampa. North and southbound I-75 is accident-free, and our Bay Area bridges are looking good.
The Spin Doctors on the MJ Morning Show, Q105, 619 on this Tuesday morning. Yeah, don't confuse it for a Monday. A lot of folks were off yesterday, so for many, it's the Tuesday that feels like a Monday. A couple of things here. I want to get into the Facebook app warning that's been circulating around. And, one of the questions is, hey, should you delete the Facebook app off your phone? I don't use Facebook. Who does our Facebook? Fester, is that you? Do you manage our Facebook account for the most part?
I don't know if manage is the right word.
No, but you're the most active on Facebook.
Yes.
So you're on the MJ Morning Show Facebook every day.
Yeah.
For one thing or another, you tend to post the most on our Facebook account. I, kind of focus on our Instagram. Andrew does Instagram, for MJ Morning Show on Instagram. Again, if you don't follow MJ Morning Show on Instagram, give it a follow. Andrew puts up videos every day, little clips from the show, from MJ TV. But the Facebook deal, I want to get into that here. And then also, speaking of social media, these, again, stupid myths that are circulating, especially TikTok. It's not bad enough that TikTok is a Chinese spy info and data gathering operation. With the Chinese Communist government, fully able to get their hands on all that TikTok data, don't trust what they say about, oh, no, there's a Chinese wall built in between. And, if you don't know what a Chinese wall is in legal terms, just look that up on your own time.
Wall of China.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The Chinese wall. But you know what? The origin, I believe, is from the Great Wall of China, but it has to do with the legal profession for the most part. But the TikTok medical myths first, or do you want the Facebook warning? You guys?
Facebook warning.
All right, the Facebook warning is...
TikTok first.
Facebook warning.
All right.
Face tick.
All right.
Face talk.
All right. So if you're watching MJ TV, I was doing a very bad facial tick situation. So the Facebook mobile app, I guess there are like 2 billion Facebook mobile users. And there was a new update recently, and there is, I guess, great concern about it being able to track your internet links and where you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then give that information to Mark Schmuckerberg, on his Hawaii compound. He's just sitting around going...
So when you're not using the app, it knows where you're going on your browser.
All right, if you have Facebook, let me read a little bit here from Forbes, from the business publication Forbes. If you have Facebook's mobile app on your phone, then a stark new warning issued this week is aimed at you. But there's a much more worrying issue that this is also exposed, one that should make Facebook's 2 billion users seriously consider whether they should be using the app at all. So the latest update to Facebook's app has been described on X, which X, formerly Twitter. They got their own freaking problems over there. One of them is Elon Musk, as a huge deal that demands press attention and the creepiest thing you'll read all day. And you might think this is enough to have you switch off, but this creepy change can be easily switched off, so you can do it, and you should do exactly that. The technology lurking behind it is much harder to disable, though, and much creepier. Let's start with the update. Facebook's new link history saves a list of the websites you visit through its in-app browsers so that you can return to that site at any time. When your app updates, you will see the option to disable link history, forfeiting the convenience of your Facebook browsing activity all stored in one place, but also avoiding Facebook's inevitable sidebar that we may use link history information from Facebook's mobile browser to improve your ads across Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook. This standard new feature for most experiences, a Facebook spokesman makes it easier for people. Anyway, there's a balance here. It just goes into the update history. And the fact is that they're going to know everything. They're going to know your links. So people are saying that it's creepy. A former Google engineer warned last year that Facebook renders all third-party links and ads within their app using a custom in-app browser, with the host app being able to track every single interaction with external websites from all form inputs like passwords and addresses to every tap
What?
that you make on your screen.
Well, that seems like very unfair. That seems invasive,
Well,
intrusive.
Guess what? The digital world, the online world, the cookie world, all that. I'm not talking about the cookies like Keebler, little, the fudgy elf things. No. Listen, the digital world, we've given up so much privacy. We're just handing over, listen. Data is what's making the world go round, and we're just handing over all our data for free. You agree to all those consents, you agree to the terms of service, all the legal mumbo jumbo that you scroll through, and you just agreed to because it would take you 19 and a half years to read all that crap.
I wonder if you do all your browsing on your private browser, if Facebook can pick that up. If you do everything in private browsing mode.
Well, or if you... It's through the Facebook app.
Yeah.
So if you use your normal browser on your phone, I don't think they've got access to that, but who the hell knows? But again, the question is, certainly turn that feature off. Shut it down!
Does it give any details on how to shut it down?
Yeah, it's...
Go into settings?
Go into settings and...
Look for the...
Settings in our phone or settings in Facebook?
No, in Facebook. So in the app. So link history, you want to shut that off. Link history if you use the Facebook app. And then we got another social media menace here, and that's TikTok. And some of the myths that are being pushed and peddled by TikTok that people are believing, like, hey, if you want to get rid of strep throat, eat marshmallows. What the flippin' flip? I mean, really?
It sounds like it'll work.
How would that
What
work?
are you talking about? Eat marshmallows to take care of a bacterial infection?
I mean, it sounds like a clean wipe
Oh,
of the whole throat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Eating marshmallow. Why don't you just make some s'mores and get rid of a whole variety of diseases?
Because I think the graham cracker would aggravate the sore throat, jackass. I mean, come on. This is common medical sense here. A marshmallow does sound very soothing when you have a sore throat.
All right, well, marshmallows will not...
Or you'll choke on it. One of the two.
You got to chew it. You can't swallow it.
Marshmallows will not cure strep throat. That's one of the dumbass things floating around on TikSchmuck. On TikTok.
Will it make it feel better?
Listen, Fester, I don't care what you do to try to soothe it, but it's not going to cure the actual infection of strep throat.
Will Ricola come out with a marshmallow flavor?
All right, stop it. Don't eat marshmallows to cure your strep throat. You need an antibiotic.
No.
You can't even eat anything when you have strep throat.
Eat marshmallows. It's just not going to cure anything.
And guess what? If you, there are a couple of, like, is it scarlet fever? Is that what, for untreated, type in, what do you get from untreated strep throat? I think it can also give you like a reactive arthritis as well. I think there are a lot of things. Strep throat can be dangerous. If you don't treat it, then that's very problematic.
Ear infection.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sinusitis, rheumatic fever.
Not scarlet fever. So you can have kidney inflammation, rheumatic fever.
Scarlet fever's on the list as well.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is?
Yep.
All right, I thought it was scarlet fever. Anyway, I guess for whatever reason that stuck with me. But
Infection of the mastoid bone. That doesn't sound fun.
Oh, I got
The skull.
that
Yeah.
sounds like a dinosaur bone.
It's your skull.
My mastoid bone is
At
infected.
the Museum of Natural History on Central Park West or something. All right, the next stupid TikTok myth: if you eat before bed, you'll sleep better. No, that is not true. Potatoes. Potatoes are another story that it'll cure strep throat. No, raw potatoes will not cure strep throat. Oh my God,
I don't know that I've ever eaten raw potatoes.
what is the idiocy here?
I was drunk one time in high school and ate a raw potato.
That's another thing. So
Awesome.
so don't fall for marshmallows and potatoes will help cure your strep throat. That is also completely raw potatoes. Completely untrue. And then one of the other things that's floating around that people are buying into on TikTok, and they're pushing the old rhythm method for
Contraception.
yes, for avoiding pregnancy. And what do they say? The rhythm method.
Well, you can get pregnant with the
Oh,
rhythm method.
listen. There are countless millions and millions of pregnancies that have occurred while people were practicing the so-called rhythm method. And I read this a long time ago. I think the rhythm method, it's only like 60 or 70% effective, essentially. So clearly, you're gonna have a lot of pregnancies. So don't fall for this medical crap. You know, the videos that people shoot. You know what's scary? Let me tell you what's really scary is especially the younger generation, Generation Z, and maybe some of the younger millennials who are relying on like TikTok and Instagram Reels for their news sources. And you got some schmuck with a camera phone shooting some video in their basement, and people are taking it as like a news source and taking it as gospel. And there's just more and more of this. It's increasing. A lot of Generation Z and millennials are getting their news, and they believe that it's accurate news from just jackwagons with a cell phone that are shooting these little videos and reels that's popping up on social media. You gotta be careful. I mean, make sure your sources are good. 6:31 at the MJ Morning Show. Don't forget, we do Morons in the News at about 6:40 or so every single morning. The early dose of Morons in the News going to happen next. Good pile today, by the way. So, Morons in minutes here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hey, right, 6:40 at the MJ Morning Show. Roxanne, Fester, Froggy, me, MJ, producer Andrew, and early morons in the news are on. Got a question for you guys. If you're a real estate agent and you're getting ready for an open house, real estate agents, they'll, Saturday, Sunday open house, and they cruise the neighborhood. They put the little signs down with the little arrow. Hey, open house this way. Or, what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, maybe they'll make some cookies they'll bake some cookies to give the home a nice cookie
Maybe
smell.
a charcuterie board or two.
Yeah, with listeria from, what was it, Sam's or Costco that had sold those?
It was Sam's.
With the charcuterie boards that had some listeria or whatever?
They're on the discount rack now.
Yeah. All right. So if you're a real estate agent and you got an open house, what's the worst thing that can possibly happen prior to you actually starting the open house?
It catches on fire.
That's a good guess, but not what we're looking for. But I'll give you a ding for a good guess, but for not exactly what I'm looking
Okay.
for.
The toilet overflowed.
That's a good guess, but
Duty everywhere.
Please stop.
You know my open house story.
What was that? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Where you had to go to the bathroom
Yeah.
and the water wasn't on.
was no water at all.
Ew.
And you dropped the kids off at the pool, except the pool was empty.
We left that open house
Oh, my
so
God.
quickly.
That is terrible.
Awful.
That is
brand new construction.
That is, that's right. You said
It was
new,
new construction.
new construction.
New
It
construction.
was like M.I. Homes or something, or Ruttenberg. Or,
One of them.
All right.
Lennar.
There you go. There's
I
another one.
destroyed it.
Lennar. Oh, God.
Poor
That,
KB home.
The home had to be leveled. They had to raise the home. It was bulldozed. Fester destroyed the home. Anyone else before I give you the answer? Real estate agent getting ready for an open house. Worst thing that could possibly happen.
It doesn't catch fire. There's no bathroom
Yeah,
issues.
this'll spoil the open house for the day.
Did a meteor hit it?
Nope. You ready?
Yeah.
Please.
How about a dead body found in the trash can in the driveway?
Ooh.
Ugh, that must have been stinky.
Oh,
What day's trash day?
man found dead in trash can just before an open house. That sucks.
You can't just wheel it away?
Yeah. Oh, God. Real estate agent was getting ready on a Sunday. This is last Sunday. Getting ready to open up the house. Open house. Hey, everybody, take a look. Great. Hey, take it. And something's not smelling right. Trash can in the driveway. Open the lid, and there's a dead dude just stuffed inside the trash can.
I follow this YouTube channel where it's a woman,
Yeah.
and she has a team of people that go into scenes of when people died and they clean up.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
listen, there are.
And it is revolting when there's a body that's been
Dude,
discarded.
you know what? I don't need any further
I'm
detail.
just going to tell you.
I don't want you to tell me.
I've smelled a dead body.
Stop. I don't want to hear any further
I'm
details,
telling
Froggy.
you about my story.
I don't want to hear your story. It's
What am I here for?
It's at 6:43 in the morning. I don't want to be repulsed here, all right? Hang on.
What a weenie.
No, you've got those crime scene cleanup companies.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. For instance, Fester.
They love it.
Go to Google right now. Go to
Okay.
Google and type in Tampa area crime scene cleanup company and see how many pop up. Crime scene cleanup. Look, Bio One Extreme Cleaners.
Ooh.
These are all sponsored.
Trauma scene cleaning.
Yeah, Bio One of Brandon. Yeah, listen, there's companies that do this. They handle
horrible.
crime scene cleanups.
Sounds
Puro,
awful.
Clean,
Yeah.
Bio One. Yeah, there's a lot of several of them. Now, listen, something happens. The authorities come. They may take some pieces with them, but they leave the mess.
And can I say something that happens to a dead body when it's in a house?
No, stop. Oh, well, because you guys are in real estate,
Well,
too.
I don't want to talk about any personal things personally, but I just know from when I
Was there a dead body found in the Miley Cyrus rental house on
no,
Davis Islands?
No, absolutely
Oh, my
not.
God. Was it a crime scene? Did you have to call one of the
No.
crime scene cleanup places?
No.
Was it
no.
was it a mob hit?
When I shadowed the CSI people in Tampa, I got to look
Is
at all
there
the.
any reason why you're talking like that?
God.
I was shadowing a crime scene cleanup in Tampa. You take the 405 to the 10 to the. Go ahead.
And I looked at these photos, and the thing is, your bodily fluids.
Stop!
But I have to say it.
No, you don't.
I have to say it.
I shut Froggy down. I'm shutting you down.
No, it's just a simple thing.
No, I don't want
It's just a chemical thing.
No, I don't know.
It travels upward.
I don't want to hear it. Stop.
Again.
I don't want to hear it.
Again.
Listen, I was teetering on the edge of, well, not really, of telling the story about the real estate open house being destroyed. All right, moving along.
One time I was trying to do an open house at my.
I'm turning your mic off. Is it another dead body?
These two brothers didn't want me to sell my house, so they were pretending like one of them was dead, and he was lying on the floor and like wearing blue makeup and pretending like he was dead.
Oh,
What?
That's fun.
Hold on.
Friends.
What?
It's a scene from Step Brothers.
Oh,
What?
Oh,
the
so
movie?
you're quoting movie things like Froggy likes to do?
Remember that in Step Brothers? Wasn't that funny?
I never-
Stealing my gimmick?
I never.
No,
You're
because you've never used Step Brothers.
You're-
It's not Saved by the Bell.
No, you're stealing Froggy's shtick. Froggy
my
will
shtick.
No,
Froggy will pretend to tell a story or, oh, did you hear about this? And it's like some TV show or movie plot. That's a Froggy shtick you're ripping
No,
off.
but
It's
I
okay. You can borrow
I
it.
just had to borrow it this one time because if I just said it, hey, did you see the movie Step Brothers? It's not as funny.
Yeah, and the way you said it was hysterical.
I think that's
Right.
great, Roxanne. Good job.
That's a real home run. Does the story go into what kind of school district this house is in?
No.
How close is the house to mass transit?
No,
Nothing like that?
I just have the
Just a dead body in the
dead
front
body in
yard.
the trash can. The open house was canceled for the day.
Mm.
Yep.
I don't need more details.
All right, moving along. Well, listen, I can give you some more. Hang on.
We don't, how many more details do you need from
I want to know how the guy died.
Well, I don't know
Was
all
it a
those
woman or a man?
details. It was a guy. It was a
Okay.
man.
Yeah, this is a very,
Yeah.
it's not very deep, this story.
Well, I don't need to go deep. It's just, how do you ruin an open house? You find a dead body in the trash can in the driveway just prior to the opening of the open house.
And the other way is to not have an updated kitchen.
Open house. Open coffin.
Dun, dun, dun. Open
the-
trash can.
The cause of death has been revealed. He died from multiple gunshots and then shoved into a trash can.
Wow. That's a hit.
Did I mention it happened in Minneapolis? Yeah, I guess I was a little shy on some of the details. Yeah, 51-year-old victim, Reed Johnson, died from multiple gunshots, and then his body was discovered in a detached garage by the real estate agent who had shown up to set up the open house.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Oh, there you go. All right, listen to this. Somebody in Oklahoma is dropping sex toys in neighborhoods via drone.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
I wish I would have thought of that.
What the hell?
That'd be hysterical.
So they're calling it a very disturbing prank in a suburb of Oklahoma City. More Oklahoma. Moore. More sex toys, please. The Moore Police Department has been made aware of several adult toys that are being dropped on businesses and homes.
What the hell?
I don't. Someone's using a drone. Well,
Okay, so are they in the boxes still? Because that's not as funny as if they're just
No.
flying through the air like.
Yeah, they're just
No.
hanging there.
nope, they're not in the boxes.
I mean, if they're in the box, they don't bounce.
I mean, you've heard of Amazon doing the drone delivery. You've heard of, companies, the gimmick of, hey, your stuff can be delivered by drone.
I saw a video last week where
Yeah.
a guy had Wendy's via drone.
I saw a Chick-fil-A video.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So somebody is, and this is interesting, some are being dropped like on businesses, or some have been discovered on roofs of businesses or homes. And then apparently sex toys were also found precisely placed on top of a stoplight at an intersection. So someone is operating the drone and then hovering right over the traffic signal at an intersection, and they're placing sex toys on top of the traffic lights.
I need to see photos.
That's really skilled.
What the
flying.
hell?
I mean,
Unbelievable. So
Talented drone operator.
investigating officers are trying to, piece this thing together, trying to figure out who the dildo is that's doing this. And they're going to decide once they, determine who's doing it, if they ever find out who's doing it, they got to figure out what charges and fines. How does this fit into the codes, the statutes?
It's littering. Aside from littering, what is
Right.
this person doing?
Well,
Oh, some sort of weird fetish.
dropping sex toys all over the place, apparently, and placing them on traffic lights at intersections. 6:50 at the MJ Morning Show, a little dose of early morons in the news. I'm sure we'll sprinkle in some more stuff on the way in just a bit. We're about to hit the 7 o'clock hour, so stand by. Oh, when we get back, a dude's been fired from his job by complaining on social media. Probably not a good idea. Yeah, I got the audio. He even calls himself a jackwagon, essentially. So hold on. Complaining about your job on social media and you get fired. What are the details on that? We'll get to that next here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. So, 7:02 on a Tuesday morning. Can I make an observation? As I watched the Buccaneers last night and the Philadelphia Eagles, again, congrats to the Bucs. A decisive, a rout. 32. There was a point where it looked like the Eagles had an opportunity, a window to actually come back when it was maybe was it 16-9 or whatever, and the Eagles were showing like a little sign of life. And I said to Michelle, I said, the Bucs got to be really careful here. Also the Bucs could have been even further ahead, but there were some Otten and Evans, a couple of passes that those guys might typically grab. What do you say, Andrew?
Drops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm headed.
The in-depth analysis of Andrew.
Passes that you might grab.
Andrew said drops. Yeah, that's where I'm headed. So it could have been, I think, an even greater disparity in score. I think it could have been, in the 40s.
I've never seen a team take points off the board twice.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what Philadelphia did.
Yeah.
Because they kicked a field goal, but there was a penalty.
Yep.
And then they decided to go for two, or they kicked an extra point.
Hey, also a safety in the game. Safeties are not all that common,
Last year, Philadelphia was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know.
So they're a pretty good team.
So the Philadelphia Eagles got pounded by the Bucs. Again, early season Eagles would have pounded the Bucs. The late season Eagles just suck. I saw Eagles fans also. I stopped at Publix on Kennedy, the small Publix right across from West Shore where Sports Authority used to be. And there must have been Eagles fans staying at the Intercontinental, the hotel right on the corner of West Shore and Kennedy where, Shula's Steakhouse used to be in there. And I saw numerous folks in Publix because I stopped at Publix after the show yesterday. After I worked out, hit Publix, and I noticed several people walking around with Eagles jerseys on. I'm like, yeah, Philly fans in town, staying next door at the hotel, stopping in for a pub sub or something to that effect.
Well, they didn't travel that well. If you looked around the stadium, it was way more Bucs fans, obviously.
Oh, of course.
So that was a good thing. They didn't travel well this time. It's funny. I have a friend who is a flight attendant, and she is on the first flight today, Tampa to Philadelphia.
Ooh.
So that's going to be an interesting flight.
Oh, yeah, just a bunch of disgruntled. That could possibly present an increase in nasty travelers trying to open up exit doors or assault the flight attendants. So,
how can anybody let a sports team dictate their mood? I don't understand that.
Philly fans are just nasty. Just nasty. If you're a fan from an opposing team, you're up in Philly, and you're walking through a parking lot or walking up there, they're just nasty up there. Philly just has the reputation of having the nastiest fans in the NFL. So the whole brotherly love crap, screw that when it comes to Philly. There's no brotherly love. All right. More on the Bucs later on. Anyway, congratulations. And Fester, Bucs go on to play the Lions next Sunday?
Sunday, 3 o'clock.
All right.
Early game.
All right. So, Lions, that's going to be tough. The Lions have come out of their... the Lion doesn't sleep tonight any longer. The Lions were asleep for, 2 decades?
We should really do a sports show.
Yeah, the lion is not sleeping anymore. Yeah, in the jungle, All right, on to the Amazon dude who got fired for complaining. Yeah, I didn't mention earlier that it was an Amazon guy, but, probably not good for the health of your career. If you do work for a company like Amazon, or really any company, and you go online, you shoot social media videos, you post videos of you complaining about your job. Anyway, this dude has been axed by Amazon. 7-year Amazon employee said that he was fired because he was complaining on social media videos, among other things, having to pick up customers' heavy orders. Well, if you're working for Amazon and you're dealing with merchandise, guess what? Some of the boxes and the orders are going to be heavy, you dummy. Yeah, so
don't they have like a heavy parcel division?
Listen,
I don't know.
Why'd you research that and get back to me on that?
Well, that's this guy. He was fine.
This guy, listen to his handle. His handle online was that Amazon guy. Well, not anymore. That former Amazon guy. He posted behind the scenes videos. So he would take videos, I guess, inside the Amazon warehouse, and he would just like show you like behind the curtain and the back and what's going on at Amazon. And he said recently, he said, hey, got some bad news. Amazon done fired my dumb ass. Hey, here's some of the audio from this guy's video.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but stop buying water at Amazon. A couple days ago, I decided to pick up an extra shift, and they put me to pick. Since I'm a trainer, most of you should know trainers don't really do much. We sit on our ass all day. I already knew it was going to be a tough day. Tell me why every other item I picked was either Fiji water or dog food. Are you telling me you're out of water, you go on Amazon, and you wait 2 to 3 business days to get your water, bro? What are you drinking in the meantime? Take your lazy ass to the store and buy water there like normal people do. If it's hard enough for me to do it, imagine a 50-year-old lady who has to grab the dog food from the top shelf.
So this guy shoots videos and he's wearing like his Amazon work vest.
It's pretty funny.
You know,
He's not wrong.
well, I mean, also, you know, the people that order on Amazon for like convenience purposes instead of going to Walmart or Target or your local supermarket, the prices on so many things on Amazon are ridiculous. You know, people are under the, I guess, the false sense that, oh, it's Amazon, it's online, it's got to be cheaper. No. In many cases, you look at items on Amazon and they are dramatically more expensive, especially like a grocery item or a food item. Like you want a case of water. Who would have cases of water delivered by Amazon? That is like the dumbest thing in the world. You go to a supermarket, you get a case, get a 24-pack of water, whatever, for what, $3.50, $4 or whatever? Depending on the water, and you order the same thing from Amazon, I bet you that thing's going to be, $10, $12 for the same damn thing. So I agree with the guy. Who the hell's ordering cases of water from Amazon? We can get it a whole lot cheaper if you get off your lazy butt and go to the store yourself and pick up your water.
Hell, I could buy a pallet of water from Amazon. They'll deliver it to my house.
The next time I'm picking and I see some water, I'm going to replace your Fiji water with Aquafina. If you're buying dog food, I'm going to replace half of the dog food with cat food. Yeah. See how your dog likes that. Straight. And I'm a trainer, bro. I shouldn't even be working at all, let alone this hard.
Golly.
Anyway, the guy has been fired, and he says that, here's his quote. He said, "Hi, guys. I have some bad news. Amazon done fired my dumb ass." Yeah, I've got the audio bite. Hang on a minute. There we go. Here it is. All right, so here's him talking about getting fired.
The next time I'm picking and I see some water, I'm going to replace your Fiji water with Aquafina.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that not it? Where is it, Andrew? Where's the done fired clip? Middle set right here. All right, hang on a minute. Here it is. Here's the right clip.
All right, guys, I have some bad news.
Here we go.
Amazon done fired my dumb ass.
Here we go.
7 long years down the drain, just like that.
What do you think was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, you post videos about replacing people's Fiji water with Aquafina.
Yeah, not cool.
You talk about taking half their dog food out of the bag and putting cat chow inside.
I'm pretty sure that was a joke, right? It's
yeah,
not like he was really doing that.
Listen, clearly the guy's joking, but still.
Lighten up, Amazon.
Well, they fired they done fired his dumb ass.
All right, guys, I have some bad news. Amazon done fired my dumb ass. 7 long years down the drain, just like that.
So what's his next job going to be? And is he going to start posting videos again, complaining about his next job?
That's when your sensibilities about, I'm creating this great, funny content overtake your sensibilities about maintaining your job.
But also, he's saying that he's a trainer for Amazon.
Yeah.
And trainers do nothing, just sit on their butts. And
I'm working too hard.
I mean, what does this guy expect? So Amazon, it wasn't tough to figure out who he was. I mean, the guy is showing his full face. He's not like hiding himself. He would sit in his car, I guess, in the Amazon fulfillment parking lot and just shoot like full-on video. So
Sounds like a pretty easy gig.
so the guy is clearly not a rocket surgeon over here. I don't think he's one of the sharpest tools in the shed. I mean, how long did he think that he was going to survive bitching and moaning and threatening to tamper with products? I mean, come on.
We're going to promote you.
Yeah.
You're now area supervisor.
You're doing great, kid.
Congratulations.
You're now Jeff Bezos's personal valet.
I want you to know we expect a lot of you, young man.
You're responsible for putting the Fiji water on his private jet. And then he's
Feed his dog.
secretly replaced with Aquafina. Which, Aquafina Dasani, that's just tap water. That's seriously, you got to be careful also. You got spring water, you got natural spring water, and then you have just municipal tap water that's just coming out of a faucet that they just run through some purification. So, all right, 7:13 at the MJ Morning Show. So just a little, career health advice that if you want to keep your job, what this guy did, obviously not too bright. Yeah, what are you looking at?
Zephyr Hills spring water.
Yep.
On Amazon, it's like 90 cents more than Publix.
You know what? That's not bad. But I've seen many items that are ridiculously more expensive. So let's see. $5.39 for a 24-pack. Those are 16.9 ounce
Bottles, yeah.
bottles.
Yes.
24-pack on Amazon, $5.39. And then Publix online has it at $4.43. So that's about what? It's about $1 cheaper at Publix.
Yeah.
But then, I'm guessing that maybe that at Walmart's probably a little cheaper than Publix.
Sure.
So.
But still, it's not like it's backbreaking money to avoid to have to go to Walmart.
But I'm telling you right now that in many cases, when it comes to food items, in many cases, it's much better for you to go to Publix or Winn-Dixie or Walmart or Target.
I heard Froggy's filling his new pool with Zephyr Hills water.
Okay. It's 7:14 at the MJ Morning Show, rolling up on 7:15. We start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ next. Hey, I posted this yesterday. You want to see me standing in front of the Veterans Ford? It's Tuesday morning. We appreciate you listening to the MJ Morning Show. An hour and 20 minutes of nonstop content right now. No music, no commercials, just nonstop MJ and the crew starting right now. Hey, I would like to deliver quickly a message to Verizon Wireless. And listen, I like Verizon Wireless. I've been a customer for many, many years. I started with Alltel. Remember Alltel back in the 90s in this market? So I was Alltel. Then Alltel was purchased by Verizon Wireless. And I'm pretty happy. You know, nationwide, my coverage seems to be very good, except in our building, in our office park. And I wanted to point something out because watching the Bucks beat the Eagles last night, 32-9, there was a commercial that I saw for Verizon. And the commercial was, did you see, they had like a measurement device, and the copy in the commercial was, and we've traveled to every NFL stadium to make sure the 5G service was great. I'm like, hey, due to the commercial with your little magic wand, how about coming to the old Koger Executive Plaza? What are we called now? The Bayfront?
I don't know.
What is this called? What? All right, so we're near 4th and Gandy here in St. Pete, where Glory Days is, right off 4th Street. We're back in there.
We don't want people to visit.
Yeah, well,
you're giving very explicit directions.
We're in an office.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what it is, but the cell service sucks, and I think it's also AT&T as well. I don't know about T-Mobile.
Correct.
But because Roxanne, you've got AT&T.
I do.
Okay, and so Fester, what do you have?
I have Verizon.
Okay, I'm Verizon. Froggy, are you
Mint?
Mint Mobile?
Not Verizon, I believe.
I can only operate on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Froggy, you don't even know which company you have.
I have a jitterbug.
I've got Consumer Cellular. I got Froggy's got buttons on his phone the size of wheat thins.
I can't see.
Anyway, so, hey, Verizon, why don't you get the dude from the commercial that I saw last night where you're traveling to all NFL stadiums to make sure the 5G service is great? How about coming to our radio complex here with that same little device and see how crappy the 5G service is? I don't even think I get 5G over here. I mean, I barely get a bar in the building.
I get OG on my phone.
You know what the deal is you call people. Let's say I'm at home and I need to call a salesperson, or I'll make a phone call and it goes right to voicemail. In a lot of this building, you don't even get service. No. It sucks. I've shot, and I'm talking not even in the building, like outside. I've tried to do like an Instagram live, and the video is so bad. It's all like pixelated and choppy, and it blows. So I saw the commercial last night. Listen, I like Verizon. I'm typically a happy Verizon Wireless customer, just not in our office park. And I guess that means what? We don't have a tower nearby, but
I don't know what it means.
This whole zone is, and sometimes I'll have no service, and I got to travel for a couple of miles, and then my service comes back on my phone. So that's been like that. We've been here for 3.5 years now. And I noticed how bad the cell service was immediately. So when I saw this Verizon commercial last night, and they're touting, oh, man, we're measuring the 5G strength in every NFL stadium in the entire league. Why don't you get your asses down here to the Bay Point office park? Why don't you measure the 5G service here?
Yeah.
Feels like 1G. So, hey, I don't want to point any fingers, and I'm going to get to the celebrity list. I want to take some phone calls on this because I'm going to ask you guys if you know, but I'm guessing you will not, and I'm going to have you guys put your hands in the air because I don't want any Googling or searching. So I'll get not yet in 1 minute.
I'm just going to sit like this with my hands in the air
in 1 minute. I saw a story. I saw a story about Wiz Khalifa.
Oh, I love Wiz.
The rapper Wiz Khalifa, and he showed up stoned to a parent-teacher conference.
You know what I was just doing right now is I was just communicating with my teacher about setting up our conference.
I thought you said you were rolling a joint right now.
No.
Yeah, that guy's always stoned.
Yeah, I mean, is that a surprise?
But listen, I'm not surprised. It got me thinking about something else. Wiz Khalifa shows up to his son's parent-teacher conference, just bombed totally stoned, apparently. And I was just thinking which member of the MJ Morning Show would potentially show up stoned to their kids' parent-teacher conference.
Andrew.
I'm not mentioning any names. I was just pondering, like a what if. Which member of the MJ Morning Show would potentially be most likely to show up stoned to their kids' parent-teacher conference? That's it. I just want to float the idea. I'm not going to point any fingers. Just floating the idea.
It's funny.
So, why are you commenting, Froggy?
I'm not commenting on nothing.
You
I've
are.
never been to a parent-teacher
You're the only
conference.
one making noise over there. All right, I'm just pointing it out. Are you ready for the list? I'm going to give you a list of celebrities, and you tell me what they all have in common. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And this is the thing we can't Google.
Yeah, don't Google this. Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to give you a list of very well-known celebrities. You tell me what they have in common. Justin Bieber. Justin Timberlake. Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, douchebag first names.
Tom Cruise.
I'm sticking with that.
That's wrong. Selena Gomez. Rihanna. Sean P. Diddy Combs.
I know what it is.
Chris Brown. Simon Cowell.
Oh, God.
Miley Cyrus. Bruce and Kris Jenner. Now, that's
Caitlyn now.
I was going to say, what's the female name?
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
But this
You're
was
right.
This was Bruce. Clint Eastwood.
Wait. So there's a distinction?
Clint Eastwood.
Go back one. You're
Get
saying
off my lawn.
All right.
you're saying it was Bruce, not Caitlyn?
Could be both.
Just
Could
keep
be both.
listening.
Okay.
I said Clint Eastwood. Nicki Minaj.
Can I make a guess?
I'm going to have you guys write it down. Grab a piece of paper.
I-
Lil Wayne. Ryan Seacrest.
Thank you.
Russell Brand. All right, all those celebrities.
Give me a piece of paper.
There's a common thread.
Okay.
And hang on, here you go. Here's a post-it. Froggy, here's a post. Who needs paper? All right, everyone, you ready? Write down, so Roxanne, Froggy, Fester, write down if you think you know what all of those celebrities have in common.
Okay.
And this is going
I
to
have
take
2 guesses.
This is going to take us down a little path, down a little rabbit hole.
Here's mine.
All right, let me see it. And Froggy,
Yes.
liquors or fragrances? Meaning what? They're endorsing
Yeah,
or
they all have a fragrance or a liquor.
that is not.
Son of a bitch! Damn it.
That's not what I'm looking for. All right, Fester just handed me his note, and just stop it. Fester said they all have herpes. No!
That's not a real guess.
Come on, will you
You
stop?
guys don't know?
Will you
Clint Eastwood's very safe.
Yes.
He might
Stop
not
it.
in like the 50s.
Get off my wang.
Get on my lap.
I put a guess on each
All right,
side.
Roxanne has handed me her guess, and they've all seen mental health counselors.
I put Roxanne's name on that list.
And then the other guess is endorse cereal.
Well, I know that.
Cereal?
Didn't Bruce Jenner?
Yeah, what, he won the Olympics?
He was on a box of Wheaties when he was
Yeah.
the decathlon champion.
In the 1970s.
Yeah, but you named him
Yeah.
rather than Caitlyn.
We
That's what I'm
named-
trying to.
We named Nicki Minaj as well.
Yeah,
Maybe
Lil
she does
Wayne.
cereal.
Yeah,
I don't
Lil
know.
Wayne is not on a box of Special K or Cheerios.
I don't want Nicki Minaj flakes.
You know what? None of you guys have the right answer.
Man.
I'll tell you what. Let's go to phones here.
You don't need milk.
Let's go to your calls. Does anyone listening have any idea what all of those celebrities have in common? Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, Ashton Kutcher, Tom Cruise, Selena Gomez, Rihanna, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Chris Brown, Simon Cowell, Miley Cyrus, Bruce and Kris Jenner, Clint Eastwood, Nicki Minaj, Caitlyn Jenner now, Lil Wayne, Ryan Seacrest, Russell Brand. Does anyone listening know what all of those celebrities have in common?
They're all lactose intolerant, which is
No,
ironic since they endorse cereal.
No.
There's a
All right.
lot of stuff going on with Puff Daddy lately. How is he involved?
800-990-1047. Fire up the phones. Let's see how quickly people can guess, if they can guess, what those celebrities have in common. And then this is going to be a segue into a little item.
Oh my God, I know what it is.
All right, every line is ringing. Let's go
Write
to
it
the
down.
phone. Oh, now Froggy knows what it is.
He's
Let's
writing
see.
it down. Can't you just say it now?
No. I want to go to phones. 800-990-1047. What do all those celebrities have in common? Phones are all jamming. 800-990-1047. No, they're not members of the Illuminati.
They might be. They might be.
And a Judas symbol.
I'm holding up Froggy's note.
Damn.
No.
I know some of them are.
No, can we stop it with your Illuminati and your Bilderberger and your conspiracy
It's the
and
Bilderbergs.
alien
Get it right.
theory?
That Bilderberger.
No, but I think
Bilderberger sounds like a restaurant I want to go to.
Bilderbergs.
it's the Bilderbears. No, I think the Bilderberg, but I think Bilderberger is also part of it as well.
Yeah, Blackwater. Ever heard of it?
Yes.
I can tell who's not part of
All
the
right.
Illuminati.
To
You
the
guys.
phones. What
Epstein Island.
No, not.
That would go back to the Illuminati stuff.
Let's go to phones. Thomas is up first. I'm going to be so pissed if the first caller gets it. Thomas in Clearwater, MJ Morning Show. What do all those celebs have in common?
Good morning. They were all affiliated with Disney in some way, shape, or form.
No, not.
I don't remember Puff Daddy.
Not as good. Hey, listen, good
Disney
guess.
special.
But not associated with Disney. John in Dade City. What do all of those? What do you say?
I said I don't remember the Puff Daddy Disney special.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj was there for the opening of the log flume.
Yeah, John, Dade City. What do all those celebs have in common?
They've all been rude to their bodyguards.
Oh. Good guess, but wrong. Thank you for listening and calling in. Chris.
Horrible guess, sir.
Chris in Riverview. What do all the celebs have in common?
Would it be being involved with Jeffrey Epstein?
You know what? I think
Roxanne said that.
Roxanne just a second ago said Epstein Island while you were
gotcha.
phoning in, but no, it's not it. Listen, I think it's a good guess, Chris, but not involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Melissa in Bradenton. Melissa, what do all those celebs have in common?
They were on Epstein's list, but you just said that.
Hold on, say it.
No, it's not Epstein.
No, it's not Epstein.
And if it was, I would be on the list. Stephen Hawking.
All right, Andrew, hurry up. Screen some more calls here. 800-990-1047. Mike is in New Tampa. Hello, Mike. You're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello, do you have an answer?
Yes, I do. Froggy took my initial answer, but I'm going to say OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Ooh, good one.
That is incorrect.
Imagine Clint Eastwood? That'd be funny.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood with an OnlyFans page.
Cameo?
Yeah.
Is it
listen,
Cameo?
Interesting guess. Nope, not Cameo either. Brian in Lakeland, what do all those celebrities have in common?
They've all been to Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Okay, stop. No, Brian, that's like the eighth guess now. No.
Clint Eastwood couldn't make the flight.
It's not Epstein Island.
Back in the day, he could have.
Paul is in Tampa. Paul, what do all those celebrities have in common?
They all live or have lived in Calabasas, California.
Good guess, but and I'm sure a bunch of them have, but not correct. Especially, I know Bieber was in Calabasas. Robert in Zephyr Hills. Robert, what do all those celebs have in common?
They all appeared on Sesame Street.
Nope, but hey, that could be accurate. All right,
Back when there was a drive-by shooting and Puff Daddy was with Biggie, and Biggie got shot right in front of Oscar the Grouch's can.
I don't remember that episode. I don't think that happened.
It happened.
All right, if you're just tuning in, Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, Ashton Kutcher, Tom Cruise, Selena Gomez, Rihanna, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Chris Brown, Simon Cowell, Miley Cyrus, Bruce and Kris Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, Clint Eastwood, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, Ryan Seacrest, Russell Brand. Man, every line is jammed. I'm going to go through one more round, and then I'm going to have to reveal it if nobody guesses it.
All right.
Lynn is in Lakeland. Lynn, what do all those celebs have in common?
They're all involved in Scientology.
No.
Good one.
Not a bad
one.
guess, but incorrect. RJ in Tampa.
It's a
Do you
terrible
know what?
They were victims of swatting.
Ooh.
Did you say victims of swatting?
Yep.
Dude, that is correct!
Yep, that's it. I knew as soon as he said it.
Who would swat Ryan Seacrest?
RJ. Oh, that was a famous one. RJ, how'd you know that? How'd you put that together?
I saw the article somewhere at some point. I remember reading it somewhere.
Cheating.
Yep. So there have been multiple articles. There have been articles on every single person I mentioned. There's been an article over like the last 10 or 12 years, some recent, some years ago, but every celebrity I mentioned has been a victim of swatting. RJ, fantastic. Thanks for calling in.
Of course, long-time listener. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, RJ. Appreciate it. All right, tell Brian in Clearwater we had the correct answer, and then all the other calls dropped off. Yeah, swatting. And, of course, swatting is where somebody calls the authorities, calls 911, and they'll report, oh, my God, there's a hostage situation, gunshots fired. And they'll give the address, and it's a celebrity address. And, out in L.A., there was a whole, spate. There was a rash of these things where celebrities were getting swatted. In fact, with the Sean P. Diddy Combs story, when his place was swatted, cops also surrounded his neighbor. You know who, at the time, I don't know if it's still accurate, but do you know at the time when Sean P. Diddy Combs, when Puff Daddy, when he was swatted, do you know who his neighbor was? Do you guys have any idea?
Betty White.
Estelle Getty.
No.
Rue McClanahan.
Come on. Who is the neighbor?
Dick Van Dyke.
No. Steve Carell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why are you having all
That's
old
funny.
people?
Yep.
I'm shocked at this information.
Yeah, Sean Penny didn't even know that Steve Carell was the neighbor. But the cop, I'm sure he did. But the cops surrounded Steve Carell's house as well some years ago. Yeah, all victims of swatting, when somebody calls 911, and a lot of times they're using a spoof. They're using a spoof program, so they have the name of the celebrity will pop up as the spoof. When they call 911. So a lot of times it's reporting a burglary or a home invasion, and the cops just show up en masse. And, sometimes the celebrity's home, they're coming out all groggy. They're like, what? They just woke me up. A lot of times it's 2 a.m. when it happens.
That's not cool.
So they're all victims of swatting. The reason why I'm bringing this up, the White House was swatted yesterday. The White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C.
Wouldn't they know that there's something
Yeah.
going on the ground?
Famous address ever.
So somebody did a fire swatting. So it wasn't like home invasion, wasn't like terrorists have climbed the gate. Somebody called up saying that the White House was on fire and there's a person trapped inside. And every engine company, every fire engine in D.C. shows up to the White House, essentially.
You know what it sounds like to me? Some
What?
sort of alien invasion, maybe.
Stop with your aliens. Stop already.
Couldn't the White House just look around and know
Don't they have their own security to
we
know?
don't need
Well,
every fire truck in D.C.?
Of course they do.
Yeah.
But somebody called
Right.
911 to say that there was a fire at the White House, so everything gets dispatched. They didn't call up the White House security guard. Yeah, hey, any smoke coming out of the White House? Everything all right over there? And according to the Associated Press, a fake 911 call was placed yesterday morning just before 7 a.m. Person phoned in with a bogus report of a fire breaking out at the White House at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and that somebody was trapped inside. Joe Biden go, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Why would they ever send just regular city authorities to the White House for anything?
Well, they did. Somebody, that takes some guts, man, to call and say there's a fire at the White House at 1600 Pennsylvania. So that's why I was, playing the game with all the celebrity names, because the White House has been swatted now, not with police, but with fire. And all those celebrities were mostly swatted with home invasions, hostage dramas, gunshots fired, and then, police departments and SWAT teams, they show up. So swatting, that's been a big problem. People that have been swatted.
Did they get past the gate at the White House? Is there a picture of the big driveway with all emergency vehicles and a bunch of firemen standing there?
Well, the question is, there's pretty heavy security. You got those pop-up bollards. You've got those security barricades. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know how far the fire end. Did they just pull up front?
Stand outside the gate?
Just like, tourists just looking at the front lawn of the White House? I don't know. But swatting was the correct answer. Caller said, White House is on fire. and like every fire engine in town shows up. Are you ready for a kid tantrum story number 1 and kid tantrum story number 2? It's like thing 1 and thing 2.
Sure.
Just come to my house so we can watch some
Yeah, I'm
of
about
those
to say.
in action.
You know, when I saw these 2 stories, I immediately thought of Roxanne and her kids. So the first story is, and where do you stand on this? The owner of a cafe threw a family out because the toddler was throwing a tantrum inside the restaurant. Where do you stand on that?
You have to be a parent and take your kid outside if they're being a disturbance
And
to
that's
other
a
people.
question. So you've got the youngest kids in the room.
Yeah.
And you've told us about your kid tantrums.
Yeah, you know what? I have to say my kids keep their tantrums to inside our home. So I appreciate that. I don't have problems with them when we're in public.
I thought you've told us, though, there have been some isolated in public stories.
I think everybody's had
Yeah,
isolated
I mean,
in public stories.
Yeah, I mean, when Evelyn Jade was 3 years old, we had this, I mean,
Do you
out
always,
of control
let me ask you
video.
let me ask you a question. Do you
Yeah.
always have to say both names for your kid?
It depends what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes I say Evelyn, sometimes I say Evelyn Jade.
Just Evelyn Jade just takes a long time. You ever
Well,
call
Daviana has more syllables.
What about EJ? You ever call the kid EJ?
Some people do.
Really?
Yeah.
EJ.
Yep. I
What
call
about
him-
little E?
No, I've never done that before, but I call her Ev a lot. Lately, I'm very much in an Ev mood.
Ev.
I would just call her.
We have this. I wish I could find it on my phone right now. Maybe I'll see if I can.
You have a good
Doug-
tantrum meltdown video?
Oh my gosh, it's the most epic. So Doug was at the grocery store with her. I was not there, but he
Oh, so
filmed
the
whole thing.
meltdown was
Yes.
in. Why? Because she couldn't get like the fruit by the strip or fruit by the foot or whatever. Some kid thing.
Yeah,
You know,
I've
in the
gotta have him
supermarkets, you
send this
know
to
what
me.
they do? In the supermarkets, they put like all the kid stuff right at kid eye level.
Yeah, which pisses me off because I have to bend over for the Captain Crunch.
But they want the kids walking down. They want all those little kiddie impulse buys. But the question I have is, where do you guys stand on a kid having a meltdown in a public place or in a restaurant is really the worst? Where do you stand? Should the parent try to soothe and calm the situation and allow the meltdown to happen inside? Or should a parent extract a kid immediately to immediately cease the disturbance of other people?
I think you do the extraction or sooner the better. I mean, you know your child, you know if they're, Daviana has always been a kid that pacifies pretty quickly. So if she goes, she's good in public, but if she had ever gone down a bad path, I would know, okay, this will be short-lived. Maybe I can soothe her and it'll be fine. I know my other one would have taken a longer time, so I would remove her immediately. I'm asking Doug to send it right now. They were at Publix and she was mad about something. He wanted her to get, I don't know what it was, but she sat in the cart and was screaming at him and was like, you go dare, go dare, go dare, go dare, go dare. Eat those gummy bears. So anytime we
that sounds like a real meltdown to me.
All right.
It's really funny, but that's our family joke. Like anytime someone's misbehaving,
You got to bust them out of the little kid talk. Again,
she was 3 years old.
Yeah, but now she's 4.
No, she is 6.5.
That's the older one.
Yeah.
Now she talks like she's on NPR.
But so I stumbled across a Reddit discussion about what do you do if your kids are having a major meltdown. And listen, maybe some listeners witnessed epic meltdowns. Maybe it's your kids. Or have you recently in a restaurant or a place of business, have you witnessed an absolutely out of control kid meltdown? And what did the parent do? Did the parent keep them in the environment or did the parent yank them immediately? I remember the crazy buffet?
Yeah.
And we've talked about it occasionally. The old crazy buffet. Was there a car dealer sitting there now? The crazy buffet, which was on Dale Mabry, just down from Raymond James. I remember this, I think was pre-Julian. So I think she was like 2, maybe 3. And Michelle might have even been pregnant with Julian at the time. But Chloe had a meltdown, epic meltdown. I don't even know what caused it. But we're at the crazy buffet. And Chloe just melts down, and Michelle just yanked her. I mean, the whole restaurant's turning to look, and, that's MJ, that's MJ. So the whole restaurant's, turning. Michelle yanked Chloe out and took her out to the car, and that was it. Never returned. I continued to make 17 more trips to the buffet while Michelle and Chloe were out in the. Hold on, did they? Let me see if Michelle's around. Hold on a sec.
You kept eating by yourself.
Yeah,
What a weirdo.
Crazy Buffet wasn't inexpensive. I mean, you got to get your money's worth.
I remember Crazy Buffet. That was fun.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
7:51 on the MJ Morning Show. And then, Andrew, see if any callers have good stories at 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047.
Blah, blah.
Okay. Michelle, are you sleeping? Michelle, pick up. I'll dial it one more time. We'll see. This is the home phone I'm calling, which... See if Michelle will pick up on the second attempt. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hey, sweetie, thanks for picking up. Are you listening? It doesn't sound like you're listening to the show.
Well, I wasn't. I fell back asleep.
Oh,
we're that exciting, huh?
Anyway, we're talking about Chloe. We're talking about kid meltdowns, like in restaurants or public places. When Chloe had the famous meltdown at the Crazy Buffet, you extracted her immediately, and that was a very important lesson.
Oh, yes, never did it again.
Yeah, never melted down again. Did you ever bring her back, or did I finish?
We sat in the car. You sat in the restaurant, finished your whatever you were finishing, and then your dessert. It was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's. I think I made another 5 trips to the buffet, but that's right. So I just wanted to make sure I was remembering properly. Michelle extracted Chloe and never returned. Sat in the car in the parking lot while I continued to continue to stuff my face to get my $22.95 worth or whatever it was back then. So, do you remember what caused Chloe's meltdown?
No, she didn't have a meltdown. She was just like starting to get a little, fidgety, like climb on the table, like she was, misbehaving in that way. And I said, "Stop it! Dad's finishing his meal. You have to, be patient and wait for everybody to finish." And then she, wanted to get up or climb out, and then she just got agitated. I said, "Okay, well, if you can't control yourself and behave properly in a restaurant, then we'll leave, and Dad'll finish his meal." And she didn't believe me. And then I just walked out to the car, took her out to the car, buckled her up, sat there. Then she said, "Could I turn the radio on?" And I said, "Oh no, it's not fun time."
So what was Julian wasn't born yet, right? So
no.
Chloe must have been what, 2 or 3 before Chloe or before Julian?
She wouldn't have been 3 yet. Yeah, she would have been like 2.5.
Oh, that's right. So 2.5 or so. All right, terrible twos. All right, Michelle, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, sweetie, go back to bed.
I am in bed.
Or listen to the amazing entertainment value of the MJ Morning Show.
I will now.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, to the phones. Fester, bring up my call screener, please, on the computer so I can see it. So this is story number 1, and it's just a whole discussion on Reddit about there was a restaurant owner kicked the family out because the kid was having a screaming tantrum and told the family to get out. So the family wasn't taking the kid out. So the owner of the restaurant said, "Please leave my restaurant." And there was a whole debate. Should the owner have done this? And listen, if it's disrupting all the other people enjoying their meals, you got to get the kid out.
You have to.
You got to extract them like it's some kind of, special forces mission in Mogadishu, all right? Get the kid out. Extract the kid. All right, phones are loaded here. 800-990-1047. Dylan in Tampa. This is Meltdown story number 1. I got another one in a second. So, Dylan, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Doing well. What's going on?
So I got a unique story here. It actually isn't about a kid. It's my father. He had a meltdown with the actual managers of a...
Hey, Dylan, turn your radio all the way down, okay?
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, go turn it down. Go ahead. What's the story? So your father and what?
He had a meltdown about the food coming out burnt. And he goes off on the managers and decides that he's going to pay for his meal and still leave the restaurant without eating anything.
Wait, so this is not a kid meltdown?
The kids were upset. Like, I was involved. I was one of the kids, but I wasn't having a meltdown. I was seeing my dad have a meltdown.
Right. Andrew, not quite the call we're looking for here for
Close.
number one.
Listen.
But, we're looking for kids that are having a meltdown. All right. Thank you, Dylan. Thanks for the call.
Hey, turn your radio back up now.
Trish. How does that happen? Trish is in Holiday. Trish, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
Good morning. I didn't even know this girl at the time. It was my husband's son's girlfriend. We were going to see my sister-in-law in Orlando at the Renaissance. So we decided to take my granddaughter, my son, my husband's son, his girlfriend, and her son.
All right, so what happened? I got the whole family tree going on. What happened?
We're at the Bob Evans in Orlando. And her son starts
the Bob Evans.
screaming.
You have some biscuits and gravy? All right,
Ranting and raving.
all right, so the grandson starts ranting and raving. Over what? What was the meltdown about?
He didn't want to sit there.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the meltdown.
That's a
Just
problem.
didn't want to sit down.
All right, so what was the outcome? What happened? Did the kid get extracted from the restaurant or disturbed all the Bob Evans biscuit and gravy eaters?
She took him out twice.
Yep.
Brought him back, and he still had another tantrum. We all ended up leaving.
Yeah, you know what you got to do. You throw the kid in the dumpster behind the Bob Evans. That'll teach him.
Nobody will miss him.
Yep.
I learned to never take anybody's children anywhere until I know if they know how to act in public.
There you go, Trish. Good advice there.
Yeah, don't take people's children.
Scott's in Zephyr Hills. Scott, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, good morning. So I was in the Zephyr Hills Publix, and there was a kid throwing a complete tantrum over not being able to get cookies from the bakery, and he was standing in the frozen food aisle, and he was kind of like half blocking the door of where I needed to be as he's standing there screaming bloody murder. And I needed to get in the freezer. He's throwing a fit. The mom's just like, little Jimmy, don't do that. That's not nice. Inside voice. And nothing's working. I see that nothing's working. And, I have a mission. I'm trying to shop. So I literally just opened the door and smacked him with it. And
you opened the door and smacked the kid?
Attaboy.
Yeah. So that's
So did the kid start screaming even more?
No, he shut up. Oh. And I looked at the mom. I said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see him there. I heard him, but I didn't see him."
Jeez.
Yeah, I've done a couple other things before. Like I've tripped a kid in a restaurant, running around a restaurant before.
Oh my God, you tripped a kid. You stuck your foot out?
I mean, I was in Village Inn, and these two kids were kept running around, and everybody's looking around like, is somebody going to do anything? So I looked at my buddy I was with. We were on a double date with my wife and his wife, and I'm like, just let me know when he's coming around. And as soon as he's made the turn, I got up like I was going to the bathroom and put my leg out, and this kid went flying down the aisle, hit another table, the drink spilled. My wife was so mad. She didn't talk to me for 2 days.
Hot day at Village Inn, huh?
You just got to take matters in your own hands, and just I'm a problem solver.
Oh, all right, Scott. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Jesus is next on the MJ Morning Show, talking about kid meltdowns in restaurants and the like. Yes, Jesus.
So there's a store out here in Texas called H-E-B. My aunt would always tell me this story, how I would throw meltdowns if I didn't want to get something. So I would throw myself on the floor, and my mom would sometimes grab me by the hand and drag me all over like if you sweep in the store. But one time my aunt told me that my mom got fed up, and she took me to the dressing room, grabbed the hanger, and started beating me with it.
Oh, man, I once got beaten with a wooden hanger and a hairbrush by my mom as well. Hey, sis, thanks for the call. Look at the phones here. Andrew, I'm just going to finish up these screens. Yes, Rox.
I just remember another story. My older daughter, again, like terrible twos or early threes, and we were at Meat Market when it had just opened, and she was climbing under the table. She found gum under the table and put it in her mouth.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, and she was just not listening, not behaving.
Why would you bring a kid that young to Meat Market?
Because I wanted to.
Babysitters.
I'm going to continue to do it.
Babysitters were all sold out?
No, I mean, she just had well, anyways, the point of it is I dragged her out. She was in a princess dress. I dragged her out of the restaurant. She's like melting down right there in Hyde Park. And so she got banned from Meat Market. And we told her for like 2 years, no, you're banned from Meat Market. So we would take Daviana. Daviana was a baby. We'd still take her. And
Mommy, take me to the steakhouse with you. Mommy.
And so she knows, like now I take the kids all the time. They love it, but she knows, I used to be banned from me.
Adam in Wesley Chapel. Adam, MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, MJ. So 2 things. One, it drives me insane when parents don't take care of their kids that are disrupting everyone around them. So my story is, I'm from Connecticut, and there was a premium burger place I brought my 3-year-old to, and she was just having a meltdown because she was 3 and we were out at a restaurant. And I football carried her through the entire restaurant. I may have stiff-armed a waiter on the way out. Everyone was looking at me, and I didn't really care because it was done. We just went and sat in the car. My wife took my burger to go, and I ate it in the car on the way home.
There you go. Got to teach him a lesson, Adam. And guess what? Did your kid give you trouble after that?
No, not that night.
All right.
She's never been taken out of a restaurant since.
That's the point, is that kind of stuff sticks. Adam, thanks. Ashley in Ellington. Notice I don't say Ellington. Ellington, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello, Ashley.
Hey, good morning. I'm surprised no moms have called in yet.
Right?
By the way,
want MJ to
it looks like I've got 3 in a row. You, Gina, Crystal. So I'm going to wrap it up with 3 moms, I believe. Yes, Ashley.
Oh, nice. So I have a toddler under the age of 2. She's like crazy smart. The other day we went to a Walmart. She just started this. Like, she wants to walk. She doesn't want to be in the cart. And she's like yelling at me. She's telling me, forming a full sentence, I want to walk, And I'm like, I'm by myself. Like, you want to walk all over? I can't. Like, and I'm on like a mission, kind of like the guy said earlier, to like shop, So like she's yelling at me, and I just put her in the cart, and she can yell at me all she wants, but and kick and scream.
But is she yelling the entire time? Is she disturbing other shoppers?
People are definitely looking at me. You know what I mean? She's sassy. And I don't know. I'm a young mom, so
because I don't want screaming kids. When I'm shopping, I got to focus on my SpaghettiOs,
I mean, I guess that's kind of what happens when you choose to go in public. They have Instacart and like stuff now, so you don't have to go in public.
I do my own shopping. I'm not sitting around on my butt, just shop for me. Thank you, Ashley. Crystal. All right, 2 more. Crystal's in Holiday, and then there's one more meltdown story to wrap this up, which I saved the best for last. I love this item. One other kid meltdown story, restaurant, but a whole different deal. Crystal, Holiday, MJ Morning Show, you're on.
Hey, MJ, I'm a original Power Pig listener. Thanks for, being around my whole life.
You know what? Next month, February 7th, will be 30 years of me in the Tampa Bay market. I started on the Power Pig on February 7th of 94, so a little under a month away.
Yeah, I'm a lifelong Tampa resident.
Oh, man, during the anniversary festival, I'm going to be in Indonesia and Raja Ampat scuba diving with Chloe.
I was going to have a cake made and everything.
Yeah, nope, you're going to miss that one. I'm sorry, Crystal, go ahead.
So I have my own story of when I was about 4 or 5 years old back in the 80s at a department store at Tampa Bay Center with my grandmother and my mother. I was throwing a fit that I wanted a toy in the aisles screaming, and some guy walks by and my mom and grandma are trying to discipline me, and the guy goes, "Oh, leave the poor kid alone." And my grandmother starts fighting with the guy. My mother starts fighting with the guy. Then my grandma drags me into the bathroom, whoops my butt, tells me, "You don't dare talk to your mother."
So they had a fight with him about what, interfering and mind your own business?
It was, "Oh, leave the poor kid alone." And as I'm crying, throwing a fit because I'm not getting a toy. So looking back in hindsight, they were in their right, in my opinion. But the guy says this, so my grandma starts fighting with him at the department store. My mom starts fighting with him. And in the middle of that, my grandma takes me to the bathroom because I'm still crying about the toy, whips my butt, tells me, "Don't you dare say anything to your mother when you get back there about that toy." And I dry my tears. I got little tears in my eyes. And I walk up to her at the department store. She looks at me and I go, "Are you going to buy me that toy?" After getting my butt whipped in the bathroom by my grandma, causing a fight between the guy and them, all I said was, "Are you going to buy me that toy?"
And I hope they didn't buy you the toy.
It's silly.
No, but it's one of those stories I've heard 15, 20 times in my life.
Of
And then I remember my parents telling me when I was a baby, I would cry from the time I left the house, like when they were in the grocery store. My dad would just be pushing me up the aisles, racing me up the aisles, trying to keep me to stop crying.
And the old Tampa Bay Center, may it rest in peace. Is that where the Bucks practice field?
Yeah, the training facilities at the old.
Right on top of where the old Orange Julius used to be, right, or whatever it was.
That
Montgomery Ward, right?
Yeah, the Glazers' office is right over the Orange Julius.
Thank you, Chris. All right, one more call, and then one more meltdown story, which I love this one as well. Gina, Dade City, talking about kids and meltdowns and restaurants and stores. Go, Gina. You're up. MJ Morning Show.
Hi, MJ. My son, he was about 5. We went into Winn-Dixie, and as soon as we walked into the store, we heard this kid squalling, hollering, screaming, just throwing a fit. Through the whole store, we were shopping. We did what we needed to do. We got in line, and who did we get behind? This little monster. My son, being the kid that he is, about 5 years old, he walks up to the mom so casually and just tugs on her shirt, and he goes, "My mom has a switch in the truck if you need it."
I'm going to whip you with a switch. Hey, thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
All right, and then the last item here, before we move on. Man, you wouldn't believe how many termite emails I got yesterday, Fester. Just out of control.
I got about 15 different texts to my phone, and every one of them like, email MJ.
Yeah, and listener numbers were down yesterday because it was a federal holiday. And I got plowed.
Termites don't take days off.
I realize that. All right, so one other story here to wrap this up. This will be quick. What's going on?
Sorry, I finally found it.
God, I'm just hearing this little squeaking.
Okay, do your story, and I want to play that.
I don't think we need to hear. All right, so
it's a good one.
Roxanne says it's a good one, so
All right, so
she says,
listen to this one. A kid is having a meltdown at a Panera drive-thru. The Panera employee says, "I'm not taking your order because your kid is screaming. Place your order online." What about that? Is that in the Panera customer handbook?
I mean, if you can't hear the order, what do you get it wrong?
Yeah. A mom recorded a drive-thru worker refusing to take her order because of the screaming kid. Hey, Andrew, see if I meant to try to pull this audio. See if you can find the audio on this and cue it up and play it in there if you have it. So a mom recorded a drive-thru worker at Panera refusing to take her order because the kid in the back seat was screaming its lungs out. And the mom actually started rolling video, and this happened at a Panera. I don't know the exact location of the Panera. The story that I saw didn't have it. But the mom's like, "Are you going to take my order?" And the employee's like, "Okay, I'd be happy to take your order as long as your daughter doesn't scream." And finally, the Panera employee apparently says, "Why don't you place your order online?"
Yeah.
Because the kid was screaming in the back seat. So, should an employee at a drive-thru listen to all the screaming? Or if the screaming, I would imagine, hinders the ability to listen and take the order, then maybe the employee's got a beef here, a legitimate beef.
I mean, you have the headphones on working the drive-thru, so that kid's racket is just amplified in your brain.
Yeah. And Roxanne, you guarantee that this is good audio?
I think it is. I mean, it's as good as what you just described. So here we go.
All right.
Let me see if I can cue it up to the right
So
place.
it's not queued up yet? Okay, thank you. Oh my God, that's the best content I've ever heard in my life. Oh my God. Let's put that on the...
Yes! You tell him.
There you go. All right.
Tell him, EJ.
So my email blew up yesterday, thanks to everyone. And I just want to mention it again that I got to hire a termite company. I'm probably not going to mess around with spot trading. Just if you missed the story yesterday, and many of you did, because
how could you? We talked about it for a long time.
Well, because we probably had half the listenership yesterday because it was MLK federal holiday, so we didn't have the full boat of listeners. But just to give you an example how fast termites can work, a day later, so one day there was nothing on the floor in my walk-in closet that I share with Michelle, and it's a wooden floor. It's a black walnut wooden floor, and I walk in on Saturday. We're getting ready to go to dinner. We kind of decided, you know what, let's go out there. We weren't planning to go to dinner, and I sent a text to Paolo, who owns Cafe Paradiso in South Tampa. And I said, hey, Paolo, any chance I can get an early 5:30 two-top with Michelle? And he said, absolutely. So I'm getting ready to go to Paradiso, Cafe Paradiso, and I walk into the closet to grab a nice shirt and some pants and the shoes. And believe it or not, I did not wear my typical T-shirt and shorts.
Oh.
And I walk in, I'm like, oh, my God, what is that on the floor? It's like a whole pile of sand. And as I get down on my knees to look at it, I'm like, oh, son of a... And it's a frass. Termite droppings, or the termites ejecting the digested wood, because they're after the cellulose, and then they poop out these little pellets, and then they push them out of their holes. The holes... Well, the holes in the wood. Oh. So they bore into the wood, and these little pinholes, these little pricks in the wood, they kick out the little pellets, and that's called frass. And the minute I was on my knees looking at this stuff, and I'm like, oh, jeez. And I knew immediately, freaking termites. There is nothing else in my house. There's no wings, no bodies. But in the middle of my closet, we got the doors on the bottom and shelves, and then there are cabinets up on top, and there's like a wooden belt line, and it's the belt line about 6.5 feet up or so. And I found the spot. I found the little pinhole, actually watched them kick the pellets out. So I set up, I hung a piece of paper with some blue painter's tape, and I'm catching the pellets. And a day goes by over the weekend, and I got a whole pile of these things. I'm like, oh, man. So, listen, I know that there are places that say, oh, we can spot treat it. But the way if they're there, they're elsewhere. But the point is, how the hell did they get into my closet in the middle of just wood in the closet, maybe from the attic or whatever? And you know the deal. In Florida, the joke is, or not really a joke, but the saying is, you got two types of homes in Florida: homes that have or had termites, or homes that are gonna get them. So it's just an issue, and especially South Tampa, has an issue. So I got to hunt for. I got to get tented. So in the next couple of months, I got to schedule a tenting, because when you pump in the Vicane gas, I mean that kills. If it's done properly, a proper tent, good seal. They're using brand name Vicane, not some of the cheap knockoff stuff. Or you don't want them to misshoot your house. You don't want a failure from the tenting. You got to, and listen, I've learned a lot over the years, and I've had numerous discussions. Like, I know which termite tenting companies to not use. I know which companies I don't want. Folks that were hired right out of the Hillsborough County Jail, running around my house. So I know which companies have high rates of misshooting the gas in the house, and whose employees might not be the best. So I got to do the whole deal. So
do your due diligence.
Hey, guess what? If anyone's in the termite tenting business, and you want to tent MJ's house, it's a contest.
No. If you want to be a contender to tent MJ's house,
who wants to be a contender to tent MJ's house in South Tampa for termites? And again, there's nothing else in the house. No other frass. The droppings, no wings, no bodies, nowhere. Went over the whole house, nothing. Just in the middle of my freaking closet, one little hole, and these little bastards are kicking out all kinds of termite, droppings and dust. So anybody in the termite business, I'm entertaining, I'm interviewing before I decide who I'm going to hire to tent my house. Hey, send me an email.
Taking bids, right?
What? Yeah, I'll take bids, exactly. MJ at MJMorningshow.com. That's MJ at MJMorningshow.com. Send me an email, MJ at MJMorningshow.com, if you're in the pest control termite business. And you know what else? There are some companies that tent and shoot and sell the job. A lot of the jobs are subcontracted out these days. So there are a lot of really good pest control companies that sub out to subcontractors, a wholesaler, the actual tenting and the shooting of the Vicane gas. And there are some really good subcontractor tenters out there, and there are some really bad ones as well. So again, I've educated myself, and I'm gonna find the best. I want the best quality for the best price, obviously. So hey, you wanna tent MJ's house? Send me an email, MJ at MJMorningshow.com. Now, I've heard of a celebrity misspeaking and saying, "Hello, Tampa," and it's Orlando. You got a band, you got the lead singer, and they're doing a shout out to the city.
Yeah, Brian Wilson did that for me. He called Tampa Tempe, Arizona.
Did he really?
He goes, "Hello, Tempe."
Did he really?
Yeah, and then somebody goes, "It's Tampa, Brian."
Well,
Tampa, Tempe.
We've all heard these stories where a band lead singer shouts out the wrong city. Now, I've heard of that. That has happened. However, I don't think I've ever heard of a performer shouting out the wrong country. Did you?
How far off were they?
Was it who I think it is? A big time performer?
Yeah, who do you think it is?
Madonna.
It is.
Okay.
So Madonna shouts out Boston, and she was actually in Canada.
Didn't she almost die a few months ago? How was she in?
Maybe that's it.
She's naming North American locations after that traumatic incident.
Madonna is in Toronto, right? And she's like, "Hey, are you ready, Boston?" And she's in Toronto. Again, I've heard of shouting out the wrong city, not the wrong city in the wrong country. That's quite a geographical mess.
Are you guys mad at me because I said hello, Boston? I'm sorry. What kind of is that? That would be like if you guys were saying like, "Hey, Lady Gaga's playing tonight."
All right, so that was the apology.
You wish.
I don't have the, "Hey, Boston." She's in Toronto. That was the apology. What'd she say? The audio's not great, but are you guys angry at me?
She said that'd be like you guys saying, "Hey, Lady Gaga's playing."
No, Madonna. It's like saying Betty White's performing.
Yeah, please.
Please. You wish.
Hey, Andrew, you have the Panera audio? Andrew, you got it? Andrew? Okay, so Andrew has the Panera audio. Is it ready to go? Can you play? All right, so a few minutes ago, we're talking about the Panera meltdown. Kids having a screaming fit, I guess, in the backseat of the car. Mom is at a Panera drive-thru, and the Panera employee says, "You know what? Why don't you place your order online?" Andrew, is the audio any good? Hang on. Let's play the audio. Let's see if it's
So
any good.
you are going to refuse to take my order because my child was screaming?
Yes, I have the right to do that. If you're more than welcome to come inside, or you can place an order online and we'll make it for you.
And what is really like, you're going to not take my order?
Yes, ma'am, that is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Well, I do have this on video, and I will be emailing corporate because that's just like completely rude. I cannot come inside because my daughter does not have shoes on. Do you understand that?
No, man, I understand, but you're also more than welcome to order through online as well.
So you want me to take an extra 20 minutes and order online? That's not convenient to me. It's your job to take orders and stuff, and this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, place the order now. The kid shut up.
Yeah, you know what? I don't understand this.
But you heard the kid did scream. There was one scream early on in the audio clip.
So what? What if you have a barking dog in the car? You won't serve him?
Exactly. And you know how hard it is, especially if you have a young child, to get in and out of the car, lug them in there. And he could have easily said, "I'm having a hard time hearing you through the speaker. Why don't you pull up to the window? I'll get your order, and then you can park on the side and we'll bring it out to you." Like, that's just sounds like he's trying to kind of be a jerk. And what if the children what if you're dealing with a child who has autism? There are other reasons that make kids go,
Yeah, it's not a
have
good look
issues.
for Panera, seeing as how they could kill the kid by giving him one of their charged up lemonades.
Let me give your kid a 24-ounce cup of our charged up lemonade.
Yeah, this
So the kid was screaming once. I would imagine the screaming was far worse before she rolled video. It seems the mother rolled the video after the employee refused to serve her at the drive-thru because of the screaming kid. All right, now, Andrew, there's a little more here. So he responds, and I've got a question about the mother's parenting ability, and I want to bring that up in just a second. I roll the rest of the video.
So I'd like you to take my order, please.
Okay. I will be happy to take your order as long as your daughter doesn't scream, all right?
I think that's a pretty good decision on your part.
Okay, I don't need this attitude.
I love him.
What's the matter with this guy?
I love this guy.
All right,
this
so
guy's
He's right.
What were we going to say? The guy's a what?
I don't know. He sounds kind of dorky.
He's a
like
dick.
Just, yeah, he sounds just like he doesn't have kids and he probably doesn't have a date either.
All right,
He
now,
has a date.
the kid, I wish we had better audio of the kid screaming. The kid must have been really screaming for the guy to refuse to take the order at the Panera drive-thru. But also, the mother's like, my kid doesn't have shoes on? You're taking your kid out of the house with no shoes? What's going on here?
Excuse me, sir. You're pumping Biggie too loud. I'm going to refuse your food.
There's someone sent me a video. I think Julian did. Yeah, Julian sent me a video of a guy at a drive-thru, and the bass in the vehicle is pumping so loud, it's like shaking the food out of the bag as it's getting handed through the drive. The fries are going everywhere, and it's like. I got to see if I can find that. Hang on, let me see if I can find the video.
I used to have speakers like that in my truck.
Yeah, when you were cool.
Yeah, when I was cool.
Let me see if I can find this video. It was hysterical. Julian, let me see if I can find the drive-thru.
When you just can't even, it almost hurts to breathe because the music is so loud and so bassy.
I thought Julian sent it to me. Maybe I was just going through his DMs to me. But if I can find, Andrew, do me a favor, see if you can find that. It's a social media video, guys at a drive-thru, and he is rumbling the stereo system, and the bass is so freaking loud. It's shaking the ground. It's shaking the restaurant, the employees at the drive-thru. Then the bag is, and the stuff starts flying out of the bag. That's how much bass and rumble was coming out of this vehicle. Let me know if you can find it. And hold on, you have it? Really? All right, go ahead and play it. Oh, I hope the lyrics are not all.
No, he has the clean version playing.
Yeah.
Ooh, feel that.
Listen to this. Oh, you hear that? And
the ladies like it.
It doesn't do justice. It's rumbling, and the bag of the food starts flying out of the bag. That's how much rumble there was. All right, so it's kind of funny to watch.
It's called bass, not rumble.
Yeah, and I said bass.
Bass for your face.
Andrew will put that up on our website. So if you want to see that video, Andrew will put it up on mjmorningshow.com in As Heard on the MJ Morning Show on mjmorningshow.com. So we'll have that up here in just a matter of moments. Stand by. You hear about Hulk Hogan? And I guess the rescue of a teenager from an overturned car?
What happened, brother?
Yeah, where did I get this?
So Hulk's the hero in all this?
Yeah, from, I guess Fox had this. Yeah, Hulk Hogan. This is Sunday night. And he's, I think it was the Veterans. Was it the Veterans Expressway? Yeah, I found the national write-up, but, there's local coverage of this. Yeah, see if it was the Veterans Expressway. You want to find, bring up Fox. Yeah, Fox National picked it up. Yeah, so was it the Veterans? Let
me look at it.
Yeah. Tampa Police Department confirmed the crash was on the Veterans Expressway at exit 2A toward Clearwater.
So that's the Courtney Cable Bridge exit, right?
Yeah, so go ahead and scroll to the very top so I can read part of this. WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan helped rescue a 17-year-old girl from a flipped car in Tampa Sunday night. Hogan's wife, Sky Daly, is that on her birth certificate, Sky Daly? Posted about the accident on Facebook, writing, "Last night we left dinner in Tampa. We saw a car flipped in front of us. I truly admire my husband, Hulk Hogan, brother, and good buddy Jake Rask for springing into action."
That's cool.
Tampa PD confirmed the crash on the Veterans Expressway, exit 2A toward Clearwater. The two men, Hogan and friend Jake, seen in pictures by TMZ, pulling the teenage girl from the wreckage. Hogan tweeted that without a knife to puncture the airbags, he used a ballpoint pen to free the girl from the upside-down car.
I dropped a leg on the car, brother.
Now, the question is, the airbags inflate quickly and then deflate. Do these airbags stay inflated? Airbags are supposed to, whenever I see a crash aftermath, the airbags are all deflated.
I don't know. Well, listen, I mean, I'm glad Hulk was there. I'm glad he helped this young girl.
Why wasn't this caught on video, man? I guess there were some pictures, right?
He just sprung into action.
We need some hidden camera video, if you know what I mean here.
Couldn't be there for Macho Man, could you?
Yeah.
Well, listen, when I think about Hulk Hogan and Nick, his son Nick just had that DUI recently.
Nick had the terrible accident 10 years ago,
and then,
15 years ago.
Then you think about an accident and Hulk Hogan, you think of Nick and his friend John Graziano, who I would imagine he's still in a facility in a vegetative state. I mean, that's just a terrible story. But listen, nice thing that Hulk Hogan and his friend did in rescuing this, I guess, 17-year-old girl, is that it? That was trapped in the vehicle.
That's pretty cool. Good job, Hulk.
Yeah.
What if they tagged each other in and out to help?
I can't get the seatbelt.
Here, tag me in.
I got it.
Why didn't he just rip the door off? I'll get you out, brother.
Let me get the door a big boot.
Yeah, I'll get you out, brother. Out of the car.
So last night, Bucks game, MJ.
Yes.
You know who the center for the Philadelphia Eagles is, don't you?
The center, yes.
Who?
He just announced his retirement.
What?
Who? The center for the Eagles is Kelsey's brother.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey.
Who cares?
Well, he just retired?
He said, Buccaneers kicked our ass so bad, I can't take it anymore. I quit this game.
No, well, how many years in the NFL is Travis Kelsey's brother?
Jason. He has a name.
Thank you.
And he has a bunch of chunky soup commercials.
Right.
And he has a kick-ass podcast.
Gotcha.
But Jason Kelsey just announced his retirement.
So I guess he entered the NFL in 2011.
Yeah,
so
he's 36 years old.
That would put him, 13 years or so in the league.
Yeah.
So that's probably a little
Decent
longer.
career. Yeah.
Probably a little longer than the average NFL career.
Oh, it's definitely longer
Yeah,
than
but
the
the
average.
center's job is easy.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus, Jalen Hurts has big fingers.
Did you see the video of the girl on a motorized scooter? I mean, we're talking about not like a motorcycle-like scooter. I'm talking about the stand-on scooter. There is a woman on the interstate in Miami who is on a scooter, literally on a ramp, I-95 or wherever in Miami. A girl on a stand-on scooter.
That's crazy.
This is look at this, and I can't play the audio because I don't have it bleeped, but we'll post this. This is the nuttiest thing in the world. In the right lane, and then she crosses from the right into the left, right in front of a vehicle. The vehicle, they're rolling video on this, and they're like, "What the F? What am I seeing here? Oh my God!" It's like downtown Miami. And the woman is on I-95 at the Northwest 8th Street exit in Miami, and she's on a freaking scooter, a stand-up scooter.
There's crazy driving everywhere. All roads are dangerous if you're speeding and driving recklessly. But I-95 in Miami is you're asking to get yourself killed.
It's third world. It's the worst. It is absolutely horrendous. You're 100% right. It is nasty as can be.
People
Andrew,
speed like crazy, just cut everybody
the
off.
road
It's just-
rage,
yeah.
the nastiness. It is just driving on I-95 in South Florida. You're taking your life into your own hands at every possible turn. Andrew, get the video up on our website. All right, you got to see this. If you haven't seen the woman, I don't know, late teens, early 20s.
Who knows?
On a freaking a stand-up scooter on I-95. I mean, absolute insanity. And it's momentarily going to be on our website. It'll be on mjmorningshow.com. Near the top of the page, you'll see As Heard on the MJ Morning Show. So when you get a chance, take a look at it because it's absolute, total insanity. It's like, are you kidding me? Just insane.
All right, so what if you hit this person? What if you're on the interstate? I mean, I am for biker rights and, listen, share the road for roads.
That is not a permissible vehicle to be on I-95. That's number one. I guess the assessment would be, could you have avoided the accident? If you could have avoided the accident, then a certain percentage of the fault would be assessed to you.
I don't know that I would even see her if I'm switching lanes quickly.
Didn't you see a scooter in the middle of the bridge?
So one time I saw a scooter on the I-4 to 275 northbound ramp.
Yeah, so
and it was like leaning against the wall.
I thought it was Malfunction Junction.
Yeah, well,
it was
I-4.
Yeah, well, hang on. So 275. I remember where it was. 275 northbound. You go underneath I-4, right?
Right.
And it was you're heading north toward Fletcher and Fowler.
Yes.
Before Hillsborough and MLK. So it was on. You have that. When you go through the junction, if you're going north, you look to the right and you get that big kind of concrete wall, and it was leaning against the wall on 275.
And I was like, how the hell did this scooter get here? But this person's actually riding it. It's crazy.
Absolutely insane. This woman claims, listen to the, yes, Andrew. Andrew's trying to signal me.
Yeah, in the new span going across the bay, the new Howard Frankenstein span.
Yes.
I believe that's going to have a pedestrian lane.
No, you're correct. So the new Howard, and also they're going to have, I guess, the ability to put light rail on that thing as well. So they're designing the new span to be able to handle train commuting or light rail to potentially go from Hillsborough, from the Tampa side to the St. Pete Pinellas side.
Who the hell rides their bike from Tampa to Pinellas on the regular? Is it like for exercise and fitness?
A good workout.
Is it a park or is it like...
You have the Pinellas pedestrian and bike access along the Courtney Campbell.
Yeah, I saw that. That's relatively new, right?
No, it's been around for quite some time.
It's relatively new compared to dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah, but no, but it's been around for a long
Or
time.
relatively new to the Pinellas Trail.
Yeah.
So, but is it for exercise or for recreation, or is
It's
it
for whatever the hell you want it for. But for whatever reason, I was leaving Clearwater, coming back to Tampa, and I noticed that there was like one of those construction signs, and it was like pedestrian trail closed. And I think it said like starting January 15th or something, maybe yesterday. So why are they closing the bike and jogging and pedestrian trail on the south side of the Courtney Campbell? Because you can go from Tampa all the way across to Pinellas. Why are they closing that? I don't know. I didn't see why. I just saw a sign saying that it was going to be closed, and it was it was like early Jan. I thought it was maybe even yesterday that they were closing it. So I don't know why. Maybe you can find out exactly why they're closing it. All right, listen to this. This woman says this is the absolute best dating hack. She says it works every time. This woman by the name of Coco Schiffer.
Get out of here.
Her name is, well, that's the name she goes by. Coco Schiffer. And Coco has a whole bunch of followers on Instagram, but she says the way she attracts guys' attention and the way she's been successful in getting dates is just following them. She says this works dramatically well. That if she's interested in a guy, sees a guy on Instagram, is attracted to the guy, wants a date, that it's as simple as just following them. And that turns into, I guess, the guy seeing who's following. Oh, wow, look at this woman who's followed me. And then it starts, I guess, with a conversation, direct message. And she says that she's had amazing success. And she's saying, attention, all singles. She says this is the best dating hack ever. And if you want to know, she says, if you want to know the best dating hack ever, best way to get dates, it's as simple as one word, and that's follow. Follow a guy you're interested in, and that seems to open up the conversational door. And I'm looking, by the way, I'm looking at her pictures, and she's attractive. She's a very attractive, late 20s, early 30s something, and that's her hack.
Okay, so you're talking about following them online.
You thought they were following down
No,
the street.
I'm not talking about stalking them.
That's what I thought for the first 30 seconds. I'm like,
we're talking
this
about
bitch is crazy.
Dude, I'm talking about Instagram.
Yeah.
No, not stalking. Just you hit the.
If you're interested in a guy, just follow him. No, that's a terrible idea.
All right, come on.
That's how people get killed.
Come on, Roxanne, did you know what I was talking about?
Yeah, I totally knew what you were talking about. And we had this same conversation, I don't know, a couple months ago, how we were talking about how difficult it is on the actual online dating sites. And sometimes it is more organic if you're just able to go on your Instagram, for example, see some of your friends, see who they're friends with, and then, like this girl's saying, follow. Then you're at least having a reference to the person that you're going to meet.
How organic would it be if you were sleeping in your car outside of their apartment?
Fester,
Very organic.
It's not like follow and stalk them and follow them home and then like Jimmy open a bathroom window and climb in. That's not what I'm talking about. Just you hit the follow button.
I just got that part.
All right, Froggy, did you know what we were talking about?
Yes, I did.
All right,
Look at Froggy, Mr. Genius over here.
Well, I have my days.
All right.
Today's one of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, MJ Morning Show listeners, Andrew, who was a big fan of this place, have you heard the rumor that Disney is putting in a maternity ward in the Magic Kingdom in order for mothers to give birth at Disney so they can give birth and overlook the Magic Kingdom?
You have issues if you do that.
The rumor going around is that the maternity ward is located above Casey's Corner. That's where the guy plays the piano, in the white and red striped shirt. There was a guy that did that for decades, and I think the guy died.
Isn't that a hot dog stand, Andrew?
Yeah. Casey's Corner is the hot dog thing.
Yeah, like
it's on Main Street as you walk toward the castle. So the story is that the Magic Kingdom has a maternity ward right above Casey's Corner, and the cost to give birth in the Disney maternity ward is $5,000.
That actually sounds reasonable.
Well, like I said, the rumor. This is circulating.
I thought you'd say like $50,000.
No, $5,000. But I said rumor. This is totally false. This is a legend. This is not true. It is completely false.
Oh.
So the rumor got started, and for whatever reason, it's taking off again, and it's being discussed on Tick Schmuck and online social media, folks. There is no maternity ward at Disney. You can't give birth at Disney for that magical experience. Oh, you know what one of the other rumors was? That there have been babies born at Disney. So you got mothers that are pregnant. They're walking around the park. It's probably 95 degrees outside. Water breaks. Maybe 8 months, 8.5. You're close. And there have been numerous babies that have been born at Disney. Oh, and another rumor that's going around, this has been for years. The other like urban legend was if you drop a kid, if you give birth at Disney, that kid gets a lifetime pass. That is not true, but actually that's a really good idea.
They should do that.
Yeah, they should. I mean, if a mother goes into labor and
it's a terrible idea.
Pops out a kid at Disney, I think you should get a lifetime pass. But that is not true. That's another urban legend, not accurate.
If you work the seating arrangement out on Dumbo's ride, you can certainly get pregnant at Disney.
Yeah, the whole maternity the whole maternity ward thing at Disney, and you can give birth at Disney. And listen, there are a lot of Disney little secrets. Like, if you know someone to give you the underground, there's a whole underground network. There's a lot of cool secret stuff. I don't know if it's still there, but there was a club with a number. Andrew, what was the number club? There was a secret club. It was a Club 33. So there's like, is it still there? There was like Club 33. I know that, and I don't know if they still offer it, but it was sort of semi-offered to me. It never really came to fruition, but there was like a hotel room that was made inside the castle.
Still there.
So apparently Andrew's saying it's still there. And you can, I don't know what the parameters are, but, and this goes back 12, 15 years ago, maybe more. I was asked, hey, would you be interested in staying in the hotel room, like one room or something inside the castle?
Yeah. It's Walt Disney's old suite, isn't it?
Club 33 is the secret membership club at Disney.
Oh, it was a
Is it
swingers
33? Wait a second.
Yeah,
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it's Club 33. Yeah,
Okay.
Andrew said it was 33, and I'm looking
Okay,
at
then I believe him.
Fester just brought up a website, but just a bunch of urban legends. A satirical Instagram account called Mousetrap News. They started the story about giving birth at Disney, which is completely false. And people believe it, but it is not true. You cannot give birth and have your baby at the Disney maternity ward above the hot dog stand, Casey's Corner. It just does not exist. Couple of scam items here, folks. I've got scam story 1, scam story 2, and I don't know, this kind of a little late on this. Story from Fox 13, Gloria Gomez. New jury scam has officials on statewide alert. No, it's not new. How long ago did we talk about this jury scam? It's got to be a couple of years ago. There is a jury scam going around, and it has been for some time, where you're contacted, and the claim is that you did not appear for your court-summoned jury duty. So as you know, if you are a citizen of a city or a county, that if you're on the voting rolls, that you are subjected to being called for jury duty. And the story that's been going on for quite some time is that you will get a phone call saying that it's a court official or a police official and that you have a warrant out for your arrest because you ignored your jury summons, that you did not show up for jury selection. Totally false. And I don't know why. I guess Fox 13 just did a story on it, but this has been happening here in Florida for years. We easily talked about this in the last year or two. I think several times on the MJ Morning Show. So heads up for the jury scam. No one's calling you to say that you missed your jury duty appearance and there's a warrant out for your arrest. And, of course, the whole game here is to get you to make a payment to satisfy the fine. Oh, can you use Cash App? Can you use this, that? And, of course, the minute you send that money, it's gone, and you're totally scammed. The other scam out there is, and it happens with various objects, or you might get the text. And again, we've talked about this many, many times, but I figured that, since we're talking about the jury thing and that old little racket, the other item, and I've had numerous people say, hey, MJ, I got a text. Someone sent me a picture of a wine bottle. And that's another scam that's been going around, but it's not just wine bottles. It's anybody out of the blue that's trying to engage with you on text. So you might get a text that says, hey, how you doing? What are you doing today? Hey, what's happening? And it comes from a number. You don't know who the hell it is. It's, again, they're phishing. So they're trying to open up the conversation. And I had 2 or 3 people in the last month or so say, hey, MJ, I got a picture of a bottle of wine. I think some guy said, yeah, I got a picture of some Johnny Walker whiskey. Ooh. And what they're doing, they're just sending the picture. And you're like, oh, that's strange. Well, who sent me this? And then you start engaging, and then they start trying to have a conversation. Hey, what are you doing? What's your name? Where do you live? And that's a whole racket to try to get you, rolled into something. It's like the crypto deal, trying to make friends online. Hey, you want to learn about crypto? Then they end up, bilking you. I had a relative fall for that and, lost a shit ton of money to a scammer online. What was the one? Oh, there was another one. Hold on. Like 2 years ago, there was another, because I got it and a bunch of, the redheaded lady. Another racket.
What was that?
People were just getting a text of an attractive red-headed woman. And, who's this? So you say, hey, who is this? Why'd you send me the picture? And then they would try to engage. And it's a numbers game. Most people are going to ignore. Most people are going to block. Most people know it's a racket. But if you send out hundreds of thousands of these little fishing expeditions, whether it's a bottle of wine, a picture of a red-haired lady that's attractive, or whatever, or hey, what's up? What are you doing? Hey, they're just trying to open the door. You have a conversation. Because if you play the numbers game and you send out hundreds of thousands of these things, let's say you get, a half a dozen people to bite, and you're able to take them down a rabbit hole and scam them out of hundreds or thousands of dollars. That's what this crap is. Fact is, folks, if you don't recognize a text, ignore it. Don't respond. Just ignore, and they will go away. They're just dangling a carrot, and they're trying to see who's going to get suckered.
I'm certainly never going to reply to a text where somebody sends me a carrot.
That would just piss you off.
Seriously.
Hey, Froggy, you've been awfully
Carrot
quiet over there.
cake. You literally don't stop talking.
You really don't.
I mean,
You're like Micro Machine guy.
You have not taken a breath today,
No.
AJ.
I mean,
What do you mean I haven't taken a breath today?
We could have taken off today.
Between termites and kids having tantrums and
Froggy?
Sir?
Tomorrow, Hal Herman headlines.
Hal gets more airtime than me at this point.
Dude, you can have as much airtime as you want.
I'm just messing with
All right,
you.
well, thank you. All right, so Hal Herman, about 8 o'clock tomorrow?
Sure.
All right.
Sounds great.
Hal Herman headline. How's, I guess we can ask him tomorrow.
Yeah. Ask him tomorrow. He's got a lot to say.
Just curious how Hal Herman's dry January is going. All right, Hal Herman headlines, because you know the drill.
Hal Herman is on your side. Your side.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay's news leader. Hal Herman headlines. Fox News blows. For the facts, Hal Herman knows. MSNBC has crabs. Hal Herman has the real news.
That's right.
That's right.
MSNBC has crabs. What about Rachel Maddow? Does she, any idea?
No, she doesn't.
She has scabies.
So, MJ.
Yes.
For a brief second during a commercial of the football game, I went to MSNBC just to check on the Iowa caucus.
Oh, the Iowa caucuses.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is nothing political, but I'm watching the coverage, and they're going county by county, and my daughter's next to me, and she's like, "This is MSNBC," and I'm like, "Yep, this is the channel MSNBC." And then under her breath, I hear, MSNBC has crabs. I'm like,
your daughter's repeating the little sweeper?
And I'm like, you really need to step away from the show for a little bit.
All right, 8:48 at the MJ Morning Show. Putting the wraps on an hour and 20 minutes plus of nonstop MJ Morning Show here on the MJ broadcast on Q105. When we get back, we got a whole hour to go. The 9:10 must-hear story. You got to hear this, folks. Make sure you continue to listen. The 9:10, we do a must-hear story every day at 9:10. And today's story is a woman constantly does this, and she's wondering why, if this is the reason she's still single. So woman does this a lot and is trying to figure out, is this the reason why I haven't settled down? Is this the reason why I don't have a meaningful relationship? Is this the reason why I'm still single? What's the answer? Hey, on the way next, MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Stand by. Weekly at the MJ Morning Show. Welcome to the final hour of the MJ broadcast here on a Tuesday, little Depeche Mode. And Fester, I don't know if you heard it, you were out of the room, but when we came out of the commercial break and we just played our one song in a row, I had Roxanne in the studio, and over the intro, I was like, I got a feeling that Cajun Fester might be making an appearance here very shortly on the MJ Morning Show.
Well,
so I have an inkling. I'm just feeling it in the air, kind of like this heavy fog we had this morning.
There's a guy ripping you off, Cajun Fester, online. There's a Cajun guy that cooks Cajun food and talks Cajun and dresses Cajun.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
He's the real deal.
Oh,
I think he's actually Cajun.
He's a guy from the bayou, and he's ripping Fester off, right?
Yeah, he's like, hey, make some grits. I'm going to make some grits today.
Well, that guy back when I was like a teenager, that Justin
Wilson.
Ooh-wee! Right?
Yeah. He was great. I used to see him like on game shows.
Yeah. His lifespan was very long with that Cajun diet, wasn't it?
He was an old-ass man, wasn't he?
Maybe so. I don't know. All right, so
I always remember him being elderly.
I have a feeling that Cajun Fester is going to be I feel like Cajun Fester is coming by very shortly. I saw an item here which, I'm like, we ought to discuss this because it has to do with radio and secret messages. I saw an item that the whack job pudgy dictator of North Korea, who, Roxanne, who is the pudgy North Korean dictator? What's his name?
Kim Jong-un.
Say it again?
Kim Jong-un.
Say it slowly.
Kim Jong-un.
No, say it one word at a time. Say it.
How many times? No, I'm done. I said it enough times.
No, one more time.
Are you trying to record me as I say it?
No, I'm not. I'm
Kim Jong-un.
No, what is it?
Kim Jong-un.
Why are you saying it so fast?
Because I talk fast. He says it fast. He doesn't drag it out when he meets you and shakes your hand. Hi, I'm Kim Jong-un. He doesn't do it like that.
So I wanted you to enunciate the words a little better.
I was actually being authentic and with the accent.
She speaks North Korean.
You're fluent in Korean? Is
I
that
am.
it?
Her dialect is fantastic.
So your maiden name is Park, right? Believe me, Park is a very common Korean name, by the way. Yeah. All right. So I saw an item that Kim Jong-un has shut down a radio station suspected of broadcasting coded messages to South Korean spies.
Okay.
Well, he does not have the ability to shut down this radio station, and we're known to repeatedly broadcast messages. Like, I don't know if during Depeche Mode, Enjoy the Silence, there was anything but silence because we were putting out secret codes to South Korean spies. In fact, let me isolate the secret message here real quick so you can hear more clearly what the messages actually said, and you'll be able to. Here we go. Kill that fat turd. Assassinate that fat turd. The people in North Korea are eating dirt and wood bark while he has Hennessy and all kinds of expensive foods and liquors and everything. Annihilate. Assassinate that fat turd. All right, so a little isolation of the little secret messages that we broadcast to the South Korean spies, hoping to infiltrate North Korea.
The worst part of him knocking off that radio station?
Yeah.
He played Ryan Seacrest in the morning. Yeah. That's Ryan Seacrest, North Korea.
That's the best part of it. Did you say the worst?
I don't know.
No, the best. The best part is, the Ryan Seacrest show was knocked off the air.
No, not my show.
Hey, good. Hey, everybody. All right. So I just thought that was funny that Kim Jong-un has shut down a radio station broadcasting secret messages. Why do I have a feeling that Cajun Fester's coming down the pike here very, very shortly? This really is, what is it? This woman claims that she was sitting under a leaking piece of carry-on luggage and some liquid was dripping on her from the overhead bin somebody placed a carry-on bag with some liquid. It's dripping on this lady, and they would not let her change seats?
She just had to sit there under the drip?
Say what? I don't get it. And it's a Southwest flight. There are no assigned seats on Southwest. So part of the story doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But part of the flying experience that I'm looking for is not being soaked with a mystery fluid dripping from the overhead compartment. What about you, Rox?
Yeah, that's not part of your flight experience that you look forward to or hope for. Icky. It could be anything. What could it be in there?
I quite enjoy getting covered in unknown liquids.
Unknown stuff. So she's flying, it's a California woman, and this California lady was flying from San Jose. So that's the San Francisco Bay Area. Flying from San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose?
That's my elementary school I used to go to.
What?
San Jose.
Really?
In Dunedin.
Oh, but didn't you live out in San Jose?
I lived in Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, that's right. What a
meth capital of the country.
What a dump. You mean Polk County's not?
No. Bakersfield has a lot more meth.
Anyway, Bakersfield's a dump, isn't it?
Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh, it stinks. As soon as you drive into the valley, you're like, ooh, what does that smell?
Bakersfield gives dumps a bad name, right? So this woman is on a flight from San Jose to Santa Ana, and she's going to L.A. to see friends, and she's up at altitude, and she said it was the worst experience I've ever had on a plane. Sophie Shaw, 24 years old, said it was like Chinese water torture. There was something in the overhead bin, a liquid, unidentified, dripping on her, and the flight attendant refused to move her.
I can't believe all these stories. I mean,
or the leaky luggage. I don't
open up the compartment.
I don't understand how that can be. Southwest is not
Flex Seal on that thing.
Right?
Hi, Phil Swift for Flex Seal. If you're on a Southwest flight and there's some kind of mystery goo that's dripping on your head
Got leaky luggage.
There you go. Just look at this. We put some Flex Seal on there. What we ought to do? I want to get a rowboat.
Yeah,
and I want
to do that.
I want to saw it in half, and then put it back together with Flex Seal, and then put Fester on an alligator-infested lake.
Let's do it
in Polk County.
I don't know about the alligators.
And let's see if or down in Lake Okeechobee or something.
So, have they ever determined what the liquid was?
No.
They never opened it up?
Never determined the liquid. But it doesn't make sense. Why would a Southwest flight attendant not move a woman? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Is it possible every seat on the plane is taken?
That's the only possibility, is that every single seat on the plane was occupied, because I just don't. Or the other thing was, she claims that the flight attendant would neither move her nor remove the leaky luggage.
No, that's not right.
It doesn't make sense, but she's swearing. And she's got like millions and millions of views now online with this thing. She's from San Francisco. She says that she fell asleep. What's the flight time? San Jose to Santa Ana. That's got to be, 45 minutes?
Yeah, it can't be too long.
50-minute flight? That's going to be a very, very fast flight. So she says that she fell asleep after they took off, and then she woke up and noticed that her leg was completely soaked. I wonder if she thought that she peed herself or something, or maybe shipped her pants like the Kmart commercial. So her leg is completely soaked, and she thought that the lady sitting next to her had just spilled water. And then she looks up, and then there's this drip. This drip coming out of the overhead bin. Just unidentified droplets coming out of the bin.
Did they ever find out what it was? Was it like lotion?
No, that's the point. Nobody knows. Apparently, her seat was soaked. She saw crew members trying to stop the leakage, I guess, before takeoff. So, one of the things, could it have been condensation from the air conditioning system? I've
seen that before.
I've seen that, absolutely.
It was suitcase juice.
Maybe dead midget in there decomposing.
Right? How did that get through security?
Suitcase juice. Is that like Denny's dumpster juice, which smells so good on a hot July afternoon behind the Denny's, and you get that dumpster juice. Ugh. All that dumpster liquid.
Starving.
You know what? That's a good name for an energy drink, dumpster juice.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I just saw Denny's has the Grand Slam back for $5.99. So.
Hold on.
Well, it's on sale now.
But the Grand Slam is a constant.
Never left.
Right, but now it's on sale. That seems, in this day and age.
It may get me going. I may go to Denny's today.
That's like a really good price, $5.99 for a Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's. It's been a while since I had a Grand Slam breakfast. Anyway, she pressed the flight attendant button, thought that they'd be able to help. She says they looked at her as if she were a nuisance. That doesn't make sense. I mean, Southwest flight attendants, I don't think I've ever had a nasty or a bad Southwest flight attendant.
This whole story
I've had a crappy United attendant. I've had a crappy American attendant.
I've had a snippy guy. My last flight was a snippy guy.
What airline?
Southwest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I asked for a full can of Sprite every time I fly, and he didn't. He just gave me a warm can of Sprite, and I go, "Can I get some ice?" And he's like, "I was planning on getting you ice, but you don't have to be all negative about it." And I'm like, "What?"
Anyway,
made me wait for my ice. I was all thirsty.
I got a funny story. Let me finish this up though. Southwest responded to her video when she first posted it. Within 8 hours, offered her $150 as compensation.
There's no evidence of this.
She has video. So she has a picture and video of the drip coming down.
All right.
I don't know if it was luggage or if it was just condensation from the air system. You know, looking at the overhead bins, it looks like it's an old 737-700.
Oh, excellent.
Which Southwest has an order for like 100 Maxes. So hopefully they can work on I think they're getting Max 8s though, not Max 9s. But Max 8s are not part of the inspection process. But, I mean, I think it looks like an old 737-700. Hey, quickly, before I move on to the woman who's single, this is the must-hear story in 1 minute. So your story about the asking for the full can just reminded me of something. Do you remember Ted?
Our program director?
No.
Oh, the airline?
The airline Ted.
Oh, yeah. I've flown that a few times.
So Ted is gone. But, I'm not talking about Ted.
It was United, right?
Yeah, it was United, exactly.
Well.
So Ted was the latter part of the word United. United, T-E-D. And United back, 20 years ago or so, they had this, the budget version of United was called Ted. And I remember I was flying Ted somewhere, and Froggy, I asked for a full can of soda. It was sparkling water. I'm like, hey, can I get a full can?
I always do full can.
Yeah. And guess what? I remember this. I think Michelle was sitting next to me. And I remember explicitly the flight attendant saying to me, just like this, Ted does not give out full cans.
Ted doesn't, does Ted?
Southwest does.
Like Ted's a dude. Ted owns this airline, and Ted told us no full cans for you. Nope. But I just remember that said, Ted does not allow passengers to have full cans.
We're sorry.
All you can have is that little cup filled with ice and a total of 1.75 ounces of liquid.
Just a splash.
Which you take a sip and it's like it doesn't even remotely quench the thirst. It's like a little teaser cup. So
and every time I get it, somebody next to me will go, "You can get full cans?" Yeah, just ask.
Yeah, I always get a full can. And
I
don't want the cup. I don't want the nasty ice. Who knows where that stuff's from? I don't care if it's room temp or not. I just want the can. And then I sanitize the top.
Ew.
And then I drink it right out of the can. All right. This woman, here's the 9:10 must-hear story, running just a little bit late. This woman is wondering if this is the reason she's still single. Fester, Froggy, Roxanne, everyone feel free to chime in on this.
Smells her armpits in public.
Like Mary Kathleen Gallagher,
Yeah,
and
just
when she gets
in my
and then
head.
she sticks her arms under. When she gets nervous, I sticks her hands under her armpits, and then I smell them like that. Is that right?
I'm so glad you recreated that.
This woman is 29 years old. She's been dating for almost all of her 20s. She said she's trying to find a husband, settle down, have kids, but she's not having luck. She wants to know if this is the reason why that she's still single. She says that she typically has sex on the first date. And she wants to know if would that be promiscuity, do you think? Does that, if you're having sex on the first date,
what it is that there's no dance, there's no mystery.
So she's not settled down. She can't. Does that turn a guy off? I mean, the guy gets what they want. You know, they're horny, whatever. They get their sex on the first date, but then is there like some remorse afterward, or does that turn the guy off and say, you know what, sex on the first date, that's not wife material, or that's not mother material?
Yeah, I actually do know. I mean, I can't even think of who they might be, but I know I've had conversations with people over the years, and they've been like, oh yeah, me and my husband, we did it our first date because we were just so attracted to each other, and here we still are.
Yeah, the chemistry is working so well that it advances very quickly.
Yeah, strong chemistry, and then, worked out for them. So I don't think it's never ever happens, but yeah, if she's doing it all the time, that might be part of the problem.
Her friend says that the reason why she's not finding a husband suitor is because she's having sex on the first date, and that the friend says, quote, "You're too sexually available." And the friend says that she doesn't sleep with a guy until at least the 10th date. That's the threshold.
Man.
10 dates in 2 days.
So think about it. She, 29 years old, dating many guys, just a lot of sex on the first date, apparently, giving it up easy. And is that the reason why that guys are ultimately turned off? They're just looking at it as a quickie and, satisfying their whatever. But they say, you know what, that's not the kind of woman that I want to, hook my trailer to and have kids with,
I love the couples who are like, yeah, we've been dating for 6 months and we haven't done it yet, but they've done everything else.
Why do I think?
Like every other
hold on.
freaky thing.
They've done everything else?
Allison had a friend.
Don't you know people
Allison
like that?
had a friend when we were younger, and she was dating a pastor.
Yes.
She's dating a pastor. And, we're saving ourselves. And they did everything. I'm like, you guys are crazy. You guys are nuts. I told Allison she can't talk to her anymore.
Why do I think that Cajun Fester is about to come out of the woodwork here on the MJ Morning Show?
I don't know why you think that, but let's find out why.
I have a list of the unhealthiest states in the USA.
Well, I can tell you right now, if I stay in Louisiana, I ain't going to find it on deck. We eat nothing but good seafood, even though we fry the crap out of it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Casey Kasem, and now we're up to the unhealthiest states in the USA.
We just put out my map. You can start reading every state in the South.
We're counting them down. Well, it turns out number 10 is Indiana, number 9 is Ohio, 8 is Oklahoma, number 7 is Louisiana.
Number 7, I tell you right now.
Is that a disappointment to you?
It's quite a disappointment.
Would you have rather Louisiana be in the top 3 of unhealthy states?
Louisiana should be number 1.
Now, what in the Cajun Fester diet would make the, food intake unhealthy and put you in the top 10 of the most unhealthy states? Louisiana, number 7.
Well, first of all, we fry everything here in Louisiana. You may think, whoa, catfish healthy. Not when you fry the crap out of it. Whoa, not when you slap it in a po' boy. Whoa, not when you finish it with some banana Foster.
What's the thing, Cajun Fester, where you do the corn and is it a crawfish boil?
Crawfish boil. Well, shrimp boil.
Hold on, that would be pretty healthy.
That's quite healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Because you don't have all kinds of like heavy sauces and creams and butter.
I'm talking. Yeah.
A crawfish boil, you just, what do you use, like some beer and Old Bay seasoning, right?
Well, we don't use Old Bay seasoning.
I'm sorry. That's a
Marylanders.
That's a Chesapeake. That's a Chesapeake. Did you just say S-bomb?
Did Cajun Fester say that? Who can tell? Who can tell?
I don't know.
We use Tony Saccharin.
How about a nice Creole sauce, Cajun Fester?
Ooh,
make that?
I put a Creole sauce all over you, little lady. You know what I mean?
I
tell you right now, I tell you who a bunch of fat people are. We don't know who Mississippi. A bunch of fatty boomer laddies right there.
Mississippi's number 2.
Who beat them?
Yep. West Virginia's number 1.
This is like crappy college football ranking. LSU number 7, Mississippi number 2, West Virginia number 1.
Cajun Fester, I want to go back to sauces with you for a moment. Remoulade.
I want to go back to sauces with you too.
What about some etouffee?
Ooh, boy, etouffee. You know, it's a rich dish.
Yeah,
it's a rich dish. But listen, Louisiana. I would argue that Louisiana had the finest food anywhere here in the country.
So you think Louisiana is too low at number 7?
You know what? Could be just right. Could be just right.
All right, so number 10 is Indiana, number 9 is Ohio, 8 Oklahoma, 7
Let me tell you about Indiana, Ohio,
geez,
boy. You want to talk about 2 Midwest dumpsters. Indiana and Ohio.
Can I finish the list?
Go ahead.
Number 10 is Indiana, number 9 is Ohio, 8 is Oklahoma, 7 Louisiana, 6 Alabama.
Alabama slammer. Let me tell you what, boy. Mississippi is so fat that it's bulged out into Alabama.
All right, can I finish the list, please? Number 10 is Indiana. Ohio is number 9. 8 Oklahoma. 7 Louisiana. 6 Alabama. 5 is Kentucky.
Ooh.
Number 4 is Arkansas. Number 3 is Tennessee. Number 2 is Mississippi. Number 1 is West Virginia. These are the unhealthiest states in the United States. Analysis ranked each state based on rates of drug abuse, unhealthy lifestyle habits, and chronic disease.
Let's talk about West Virginia replacing water with Mountain Dew. That can't be no good for you.
Yeah, in West Virginia, they put Mountain Dew in the kids' baby bottles.
I tell you, boy, this
Formula Schmormula. Mountain Dew Code Red, baby. Or whatever. That's what they're using.
Arkansas, a bunch of fat asses, too.
Yeah, 9:22 at the MJ Morning Show. Final chunk of the MJ Morning Show is next, including some interesting stats on that ridiculously cold football game, the Chiefs and the Dolphins. I saw something very interesting, and that's going to segue into, well, Fester, let me put it this way. Make sure your wife is not driving her Tesla up to Illinois, okay?
I'll make sure.
You want to be
I'll make sure.
You want to be Illinoised? Again, I want to just talk about one of the electric vehicle dirty little secrets. So that's on the way in just a bit. And then I want to talk about this guy in Polk County. His method of trying to stop speeding drivers in his neighborhood is probably not the best course of action. So we'll get into that here in just a bit. We have a lot in the final segment. Final chunk of the MJ Morning Show is next here on Q105. Stand by. 9:30 exactly at the MJ Morning Show. Final segment here on a Tuesday, MJ broadcast. Little final segment here. Is Cajun Fester done for the day?
He is.
Did
yes.
Cajun Fester have any input on the Bucs win last night over the Philadelphia Eagles?
In Louisiana, here, we only root for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
We don't care about no Buccaneers.
Yeah, I was trying to open up that Saints door. So Buccaneers, a decisive pounding of the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I saw? I was in Publix again yesterday as well. Remember I talked about seeing some Philly fans in Publix.
Yeah, sure.
So there were a number of Philly fans because I saw Phillies jerseys and shirts, and I would imagine they were staying at one of the hotels in the West Shore area, and they stopped by Publix. And I also saw a woman wearing the F Philly shirt. I mean, that's not the classiest thing to. Yeah, well, no, that I did. I took one at Walmart
last year, or the year before that.
Yeah, a year or so ago, I took a picture of a woman wearing an F. I mean, spelled out F. Bleep. Philly, Eagles, Philly, and I took a picture and I posted that on my Instagram. God, it's over a year ago, and I saw another one, just woman running around Publix. So obviously a local, a Bucs fan, wearing an F Eagles. It's probably not the classiest thing to walk out of the house with. I mean, do people think that that's acceptable behavior to wear a F-bomb Phillies or a Philadelphia Eagles, rather?
What, are they going to church or something? Big deal.
I don't know if it's acceptable to see someone walking around Publix with a big F-bomb expletive on their shirt.
You know what? I kind of agree with you, but then every time I see someone with the shirt F around and find out, I always get a good chuckle out of that.
Really?
Yeah,
listen,
I like that.
I am not a prude. I don't think I want to see people wearing T-shirts with just all kinds of, F-bombs, S-bombs.
Whatever, boomer.
I think it's...
They don't give a F, man.
It's not classy, And yeah, sure, there are a lot of non-classy people out there, but I think it's over the top. Anyway, congratulations, Buccaneers, 32-9 win over the Philadelphia Eagles last night at Ray J. And there were a bunch of missed Bucs opportunities. There were a lot of drop passes, and which probably would have gone on for at least first downs or additional touchdowns. So that game, I'm telling you right now, that game, with some of the drop passes and misplays, that game could have been, I think it easily could have been like 46 or 52-9 if everything was completed and some of those passes by Evans or Otten weren't dropped.
Buccaneers go on to face the Detroit Lions on Sunday.
Yep, and that's going to be a tough game.
So
hopefully, the Buccaneers, abilities continue. Again, if the Bucs played the Eagles early on this season, the Eagles were a much better team. The Eagles collapsed midway through the season.
The Buccaneers lost to the Eagles in Week 3, and then they went on to lose to Detroit on Week 6.
Yep.
So they've lost to both of these teams already.
But if it were early Eagles playing last night, the Bucs would have lost. So good luck. The Lions is going to be a tough game. Hey, speaking of NFL, one little follow-up here. The cold as you know what game in Kansas City where, what was the lowest temp? Did they get to like -7, -9 or whatever it was? But in the top 10 of coldest games of all time, maybe even top 5, this was the Chiefs and Dolphins game last weekend, and the head coach, what's his name? Andy, what's his face?
Andy, what's
Cohen?
his face?
Yeah, what is it?
Cohen?
No, it's Andy
Richter?
No.
Andy Richter, yes. Andy Reid.
Andy Reid,
Kaufman?
the coach of the Chiefs, he had icicles dripping off of his mustache, like stalactites. It's like crazy. But guess what? Guess how many fans? The numbers are in. Guess how many fans were hospitalized because of the cold up in Kansas City from last weekend?
Jeez. How many?
The numbers are in. Would you like to take a guess?
How many people were at the game?
70,000.
Oh, you know what they said? They said that the stands were not totally full.
Right.
That it was so cold. That would have been an absolute sellout. But all the seats were not filled because of how cold it was at the Chiefs Stadium.
I'm going to say 600 people.
Is that Arrowhead? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
So guess what? What'd you say, Roxanne?
I said 600.
No, it's not that many.
That's a lot of people.
No.
It's only 1% of what may have been there.
15 people.
Oh, okay.
So 50.
It's way off.
I don't know. I've never lived in the cold. I don't know what happens there. I don't know. You just fall down from hypothermia at any given turn.
According to the Kansas City, Missouri Fire Department, they reported yesterday that crews responded to 69 calls at the Arrowhead Stadium property, and the effects of the cold sent 15 people to hospitals because of the cold weather. And speaking of cold weather, and this is where I kind of teased this a little bit, and I said to Fester, make sure that your wife does not drive her Tesla up to Illinois.
What are they, freezing up there?
Yeah, what's going on is that batteries are going dead. That's one of the little secrets. That's one of the dirty little secrets when it comes to electric vehicles, that in normal ambient operating conditions, you might get X number of miles range on your full charge. But as you know, if you've ever been up north with a cell phone, I ski multiple times a year, and my cell phone in my jacket pocket, or my iPod. I still love my old iPod, and when those lithium-ion batteries are subjected to very cold temperatures, it screws around with the charge, and it drastically reduces the charge. And I saw this story from Fox in Chicago, Fox 32 Chicago. Electric vehicles may be the way of the future, but many EV owners are having trouble dealing with Chicago's bitterly cold temperatures. Public charging stations have turned into car graveyards. Nothing, no juice, still on 0%. Has been trying to recharge his Tesla at an Oak Brook Tesla supercharging station since Sunday. And this is like 3 hours being out here after being out there 3 hours yesterday. So 3 hours one day, 3 hours the day before. He was among dozens of Tesla owners trying desperately to power up their cars at the Tesla supercharging station in Oak Brook. It was a scene mirrored with long lines, abandoned cars, scores of other vehicles abandoned, or lines out the wazoo at other charging stations around the Chicago area. This is crazy. It's a disaster. Seriously, said Tesla owner Chalice Mizell, forced to abandon her car and get a ride from a friend when the car wouldn't charge. So the batteries are going dead because of the cold, and it is so cold that they can't even get the car to charge. So what do? You got to call a friend with an ice engine. Frog, you know what an ice engine is?
An engine that goes through ice. Or it can work in ice, right?
You don't know what...
It runs on ice.
Fester, do you know what ICE stands for?
The E is redundant when you say ice engine, right?
Yeah, just ICE. What does it mean?
Internal combustion.
Engine.
Oh, you think you're so smart.
Well, I did take a small engines repair class at
I
the
guess
Votes.
so.
Oh, did you work on the Briggs and Stratton 1.5 horsepower lawnmower engine?
I can repair my own mower.
Yeah, how about that? Look at that.
No, I can't.
Yeah, so that's one of the dirty little secrets. You got all these EV owners up in these cold climates right now that they're losing charge. And then it's so cold that their car won't even take a new charge, even when you hook them up to those super duper, level 29 hyper super charging stations.
So damn cold.
Yeah. No laughing matter to people like Kevin Sumrak, who landed at O'Hare on Sunday to find his Tesla dead. Just whoop. It's dead.
What happens is the battery operates while you're not in it. It keeps the ambient temperature of the vehicle at a certain capacity. So if you're gone for several days, the battery winds down.
That's one of the dirty little secrets, though. The cold temperature, it dissipates the battery at an exponentially high rate. And then it is so cold that you're going to the highest level Tesla supercharger stations, and you couldn't even get the Tesla to take a charge because it was too cold on. That's a problem. Now, granted, here in Florida, you're not going to have that issue, but that's one of the little electric.
This is the future, baby.
No, it's not.
This is the future.
It's
this is
not.
the way it's going.
No, you're
this is the way
wrong.
it's going. This is the future.
You're 100% wrong.
No, I'm not.
No, you're wrong.
This is the future.
No,
First time they put toilets inside the house, there were a couple of clogs.
You're wrong.
A couple of people like, what? I like it better pooping outside.
Fester, the future is going to be hydrogen cars.
This is an evolutionary step.
All right. Hydrogen is really going to be the future, where you'd go to a gas station and you pull out your hydrogen canister and just plug in another canister. You could be on your way even faster than it takes to fill up the average car with petrol at a gas station, which is average empty car is about 4 to 4.5 minutes to fill up with gasoline. 20-gallon tank or so, about 4 to 4.5 minutes. The future is going to be plug-in hydrogen canisters. You go to a station, you give them the old canister, you get the new, kind of like the Rhino propane LP tanks.
It just plugs right in?
Yep. And you'll get the canister, you plug the canister right in, and takes you for X number of miles. That's going to be the future. It's going to be hydrogen, not the battery-powered cars ultimately.
Froggy and I just made a substantial investment in a methane-powered car.
You got to power it yourself.
Let me guess. By what, Cajun Fester?
Let me dance on you. This car here runs on Fox.
Oh, man. All right, a couple of celebrity things before we get out of here today. You ready for Tales from the Crypt?
Ooh.
2 laughs.
By the way, that was not Thriller. That was me live. Very impressive, huh?
Very good.
You ready for Tales from the Crypt?
Are we talking about dead people now?
Well, it's a crypt. How would you like to be entombed next to Marilyn Monroe?
Ooh.
The crypt right next to Marilyn Monroe in the crypt wall at the Pierce Brothers Westwood Village Memorial Park and Mortuary in Los Angeles is going up for sale in March, and it could be yours for $400,000, and you could be in the wall right next to Marilyn Monroe.
Hold on, you're right next to her on the corner.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the picture right there. So you're right next to Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm looking at Marilyn's little slot. The spot can hold a full body or ashes located in the Corridor of Memories, Wall B, Crypt 3. This one is one row above. One row above and 4 spaces to the left.
Oh, so hold on. It's not even in this picture.
Yeah, it's probably not. So it's not technically, it's right in proximity to Marilyn Monroe.
Come on. You'd be in her neighborhood. You wouldn't even be next to her.
I'd want to be buried right next to her in her coffin for that price.
The opening bid is going to start at $50,000, and they're expecting the crypt spot to bring as much as $400,000. So
really?
Yep.
Okay.
So get buried right. Who else is there? Natalie Wood. So
She was hot.
Well, she was. Natalie Wood was amazing.
She was hotter than Marilyn Monroe.
And of course, she drowned. And who are the celebrities that have been accused of potentially maybe
Wagner, right?
Was it Robert?
Yeah, I think it
married.
was Robert Wagner. Wasn't it her husband that was insinuated?
No, but there was also another name. I think another famous actor was on the boat. Was it like John Voight or something, or who? Type in Natalie Wood's drowning was not an accident. So Robert Wagner was the husband, but somebody else was on the boat. And there's another name. Who the hell was it? Fester, go ahead and scan that quickly. It's
42 years later, the mystery still.
Yeah, who was the other? There was somebody else on the boat that has been accused of maybe knowing more.
Christopher Walken.
Oh, okay. Was it Christopher Walken?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
that sounds right.
All right, it does sound about right.
Whether Wood had disappeared, whether she'd argued with her husband, actor Robert Wagner at the time, and then Christopher Walken, her co-star in the film, was also aboard.
Yeah, on the boat.
Yes.
So it was Christopher Walken, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when I was a child and I heard my first rude joke, and it was about Natalie Wood. It was like, what kind of wood doesn't float?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Remember that joke?
I remember
went
that.
around?
That's terrible.
It was terrible.
That's good.
That is
It was
awful.
terrible. Now, I remember hearing that as a kid, like a young kid. That was the first time I heard a really rude joke like that.
Christopher Walken tried to save her with a cowbell.
More cowbell. I was just going to say, more cowbell, please.
Did it too soon.
All right, now, how about a parting gift from the MJ Morning Show? How would you like to see Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire in August at the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater? Got your tickets right now. Chicago with Earth, Wind, and Fire, Friday, August 16th, Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater. If you're caller number 30 right now, you win. Little parting gift here on a Tuesday from the MJ Morning Show. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Caller 30 right now. You got the concert tickets. Folks, have a great day. If you need to email me, I'm mj@mjmorningshow.com. You need to get a hold of me on Instagram. Give me a follow. Certified MJ Radio. Roxanne, your Instagram is?
At Roxanne Wilder. It's easy.
Are your DMs open?
Well, what do you mean
That's
by
a
that?
yes or a no.
I mean, can someone reach me on DM? Yes, but I'm terrible at getting back to people.
All right.
That's probably not the best.
Fester, what's your Instagram?
At Roxanne Wilder.
All right, will you stop it?
And everything's open.
Will you stop?
Everything.
All right, he's
open for business.
It's Fester Sucks, right?
I don't care about Instagram.
All right, and then Froggy, what's your IG?
Froggy MJ Radio.
Yeah, I tried to give you guys email addresses, but you guys didn't even touch them.
Be my friend.
Yeah.
There's so many ways that people can get in touch with people now. It's just
Yeah, how? All
overwhelming.
right, so how? How can they get a hold of
Text
you?
messages.
Porn spam.
Comments on clips on YouTube, emails. Too many ways to reach out to people.
You can follow us outside the radio station and follow us to our home.
And folks, have a great day. See you tomorrow. MJ Morning Show on Q105, and let's be careful out there.